next, Aaron Malaman. Aaron is escorted by Marcia Darian, Sean Malaman, and Gabe Malaman. Our next senior, Randall McLean. Our next band senior, May McPherson. May is escorted by Eve McPherson, Jeff Donnelly, Consentos Lawful. Our next band senior, Tamir Salim Peoples. Tamir is escorted by Lasha Salim, David Peoples, Kayla Salim, and Nathaniel Collins. Our next senior, Guillermo Robinson. Guillermo is escorted by Carlos Robinson and Nine Robinson. Our next senior band member, Juliet St. Pierre Carter. Juliet is escorted by Charlotte St. Pierre, Lance Goddard, and Remy Goddard. Our final band senior, Mason Speed. Mason's escorted by Elena Speed, Michaela Speed, and Russell Speed. Tiger Nation, make some noise one more time for your senior band. Up next, we have our senior cheerleaders. Our first senior cheerleader, Cherise Baker. Cherise is escorted by Toya Norris, her mom, Tangela Norris, her aunt, Thomas Norris, her uncle, and Dalen Norris, her other uncle. Our next senior cheerleader, Kyra Bassett. Kyra is escorted by Coach Nellie, her mom, Yakub Bassett, her dad, Coop Bassett, her brother, and Marion Bubba, her boyfriend. Up next, your next senior cheerleader, Denisha McCall. Denisha is escorted by Danica Curtis, her mother, Maria Curtis, her grandmother, and R. Wade, her great-grandmother, and Carlos McCullum, her brother. Our last senior cheerleader, Anaya Whitaker. Anaya is escorted by Rakia Whitaker, her mom, John Whitaker, her dad, Mila Whitaker, her sister, and Rashonda, her aunt. Tiger Nation, make some noise one more time for your senior cheerleaders. All right, Tiger Nation, it's time to meet and greet your senior football team. Up first, Mayan Austin B. Mayan is escorted by Hazel Austin, his mom, Mayana Austin, his sister, and Noah Richardson. Up next, Tamir Bell. Tamir is being escorted by Belinda Bell, his mom, Devonna Bell, sister, and Ari Bell, his boo-thing. Your next senior football player, Jarrell Burton. Jarrell is being escorted by Aretha Burton, his mother, Michael Beeman, father, and Michelle Beeman, his sister. Your next senior football star, Eden Carlisle. Aiden is escorted by Summer Carlisle's mother, Sydney Carlisle's sister, and Aaron Carlisle, his brother. Our next senior, Amadou Diaz. Amadou is escorted by Mom Fadi, Mom Beck, Fadi Di, his sister, and Amstar Di, brother, and Mohammed McBeck, nephew. Your next senior football player, David Forbes. David is escorted by Evelyn Blade, his mom, Elizabeth Folks, sister, Jordan Blade, brother, and Ice Blade sister.
Let's go, David!
Your next senior, Ethan Golden. Ethan is being escorted by Emmett Golden, dad, Camila Golden, mom, Emmett Golden, his brother, and Shyla Majid, his grandmother. Your next senior, John Flash Gordon. The Flash is being escorted by John Gordon Sr., dad, LaToya Briscoe, mom, Ryan Briscoe, brother, and Jalen Gordon, brother. Your next senior, Albert Green Jr. Albert is being escorted by Albert Green Sr.'s dad, Taisha Johnson, mom, and Tamara Battle, sister. Your next senior, Rodney Harris. Rodney is being escorted by Sheila Smith, her mother, Rodney Harris Sr., father, and Stuart Smith, brother. Your next senior, Tristan Holmes. Tristan's being escorted by Tiffany Shaftsma, mom, and Joseph Holmes, dad. Up next, your next senior, Brandon Hughie. Brandon's being escorted by Maxine Pottinger, mother, Crystal Hughie, sister, Tatiana Hughie, sister, and Kamaya Brown, niece. Your next senior football player, Josiah Jones. Josiah's being escorted by Ronald Jones, father, Antoinette Jones, mother, and Dejanette Jones, sister. Your next senior is QB1, Amar Great Lakes. Amar is being escorted by Arebe Lakes' dad, Wadia Lakes' mom, Amira sister, and Ashiki Lakes' sister. Your next senior's got a big boot. Gabe Miggity Mickey! Gabe is being escorted by Jackie Young, his mom, and Omar McKay, dad. Your next senior, Michael Middleton. Michael's being escorted by Shantae Dabney, mom, Michael Middleton Sr., dad, and Zaria Elizabeth, sister. Your next senior, Isaiah Pilar. Isaiah is being escorted by Sarita Kincaid, Bobby Pillar, Robert Kincaid, grandfather, and Brooklyn Pillar, sister. Up next, your next senior football player, Barrington Stewart. Barrington is being escorted by Meltia Stewart, mom, Barrington Stewart, dad, Michaela Stewart, sister, McQuell Stewart, brother. Your next senior, Keontae Turner. Keontae is being escorted by Michelle Edwards, mom, Landon Turner, dad, Ariana Turner, sister, and Heaven Wright, auntie. Your next senior, Thomas Watkins. Thomas is being escorted by Kenya Williams, mom, Armani Stugins, sister, Anila Hakeem, cousin, and Tanisha Mock, auntie. Tiger Nation, your last last and final senior football player goes by number 44, Makai Webb. Makai is being escorted by Monet Pace, mother, Rufus Webb, dad, and Zaire Webb, brother. Ladies and gentlemen, let's make some noise one more time for your senior band, your senior cheerleaders, and your senior football squad. We thank you for 4 years of excellence and success. We wish you the best in all your future endeavors. If there's any football fans here missing a phone, it's up in the press box. So check your pockets, check your purse, and if you need to, come on up and see us. If you lost the phone, make sure you see one of the band directors. It was lost on the track. So again, if you lost that cell phone, make sure you see one of the band directors. It was lost and found on the track. Cleveland Heights High School proudly presents the Heights High Tiger Marching Band. The band's on direction of Dr. Nicholas Marzolo, with assistance from Katie Northwest and percussion instructor Joseph Fox. Our officers include Avery Bandy Zalatoris, Juliet Sanfray Godard, Stella Stolovi, Gabriel Dotson, Jesse Hart, Tamir Salim Peoples, Olu Cisse, Aaron Malamad, Guillermo Robinson, Liam Alcorn, and Rylan Manning.
Tonight's pregame show is under the field direction of drum majors Emily Lewis and May McPherson. Now, the band will perform the Star Spangled Banner, immediately followed by the Heights High Alma Mater.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm Cleveland Heights welcome to the Euclid Panthers. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Cleveland Heights High School. We'd like to welcome you to our contest with the Cleveland Heights Tigers and the Euclid Panthers. In order to make today's contest as enjoyable as possible, please represent your school and community in a positive and respectful manner. That means follow the rules, speak and act responsibly, and show courtesy and respect to your fellow fans, officials and coaches, the administrators and authority figures, and of course your team and opponents. Let's make today's contest great by remembering to respect the game.
Battle of the Cats as the 7-1 Cleveland Heights High Tigers play host to the 1-7 Euclid Panthers. Welcome into the CHUH Schools YouTube channel. Jake Volnick alongside Brendan Kantz. And Brendan, as the teams get ready to line up for the kickoff right now, you got to talk about last week, especially the game for Cleveland Heights. I mean, 62-52, they take a win over the Medina Bees, and that game lacked absolutely no offense, especially in the first half.
Without a doubt, Jake, we came into that one knowing that we were going to expect fireworks and offensive shootout, and did not disappoint, to say the least. One guy, though, that we look back on in that game was Marquise Davis, up over 360 yards rushing, 6 touchdowns last week, and we look back to 3 weeks ago, six touchdowns the week before. So that's 12 touchdowns in 2 weeks for Marquise Davis. He's been on a complete roll. Went crazy in that game. A huge win against Medina. Pushed Heights High to 7-1 in complete control of the GCC, and now they look to take that momentum into this week against the Euclid Panthers.
It will be Cleveland Heights starting with the ball, and yeah, Marquise Davis, if anybody didn't know, a name to watch out for, and if you don't know, you clearly haven't been watching Tigers football all year, because the kid's a mammoth. As the kickoff's away and on the ground, fielded by John Gordon Jr., finding the near sideline, out across the 40, 50, steps out of bounds as he crosses the 50-yard line. And the Tigers starting with good field position to start this game.
Good return by John Gordon. Got to that outside. Fortunately for him, Tyshawn Harwell just trying to make a few blocks. Just got in the way a little bit. Gordon Jr. had to go out of bounds. But now this high-powered offense, one of the best rushing attacks in the state of Ohio, out on the field, starting with good field position.
Yeah, and it was talking about it, Marquise Davis. You hit his numbers last week, but on the season, 180 attempts, 1,723 yards, and 28 touchdowns. Offense gets ready to go. Gordon Jr. in motion. Handoff goes middle to Marquise Davis. Out across the 45, wrapped up and taken down between the 44 and 43-yard line.
Good tackle by the Panthers D-line, and that's going to be one of the keys for them today. Really, with this Heights High offense, it's all on the ground. It's a lot of Marquise Davis just trying to limit him because you can't really stop him completely. The key to them is to be able to slow him down and limit the big runs as much as possible because his big play ability is off the charts. So a good start for that Euclid front.
That'll set up 2nd and 7. Another handoff, middle. Marquise Davis breaks through on the hash mark, past the entire defense. 10-5, touchdown, Marquise Davis. And boy, did that take no time at all. Put the Tigers up 6-0 with 11:08 on the clock. Marquise Davis walks in for his 29th touchdown on the year and makes it look effortless.
Just effortless, Jake. Once he got past that second level, just open space. Had one tackler to beat him with ease, and already one touchdown in 2 plays for Marquise Do-It-All Davis. And Jake, I have a feeling that's not going to be the only time we call his name in that end zone tonight. Just the first.
I think that's a fair possibility given the season and just what we saw in the minute of gameplay we have here today. Kick is up and good for the extra point. Cleveland Heights on top 7-0. Again, 11:08 remaining in the first quarter. And that drive so fast, didn't even have time to mention the fact that Cleveland Heights is playing without their starting quarterback. Senior night tonight in Amar Lakes. Again, the 6-foot senior quarterback, not dressed. He came in, sweatpants, hoodie, jersey over the hoodie, is not a go. So that was Asher Wilson taking the snaps for the Tigers. Wilson, the sophomore, 5'11", 150. But it's not so bad when you got Marquise Davis to hand the ball off to. He didn't really have to do a whole lot on that drive.
That's the thing for Asher Wilson today. It's just going to be a lot of just controlling the ball, making sure no turnovers. It's going to be a lot of rushing. We've seen it all year. Amar Lakes been so huge for Heights High in that rushing game as well. We see a lot of option plays, a lot of plays where he takes it himself, and he has that big playability with his speed too, but not really a lot of passing out of this Heights High Tigers offense.
Yeah, you mentioned Amar Lakes, tied for 2nd in rushing yards, 383 on the season, also 2nd in touchdowns on the ground, and crazy to say, with 5. McKay, kick high and towards the sideline, takes a bounce and will roll out of bounds. So for the Euclid Panthers, also going to be off to their own starting field position that'll be favorable.
Good start. Looked like the Tigers just tried to go with one of those over-the-top short middle squib kicks, see if it takes a good bounce or if anyone on the special teams unit could jump on it, but that one just bounces out of bounds. So good start for the Panthers.
Check.
Wilby offense gets ready to take the field. And if you're tuning in late, not even a minute off the clock, 11:08 remaining, but you missed a very quick touchdown by Cleveland Heights on the opening drive. Marquise Davis taking it 44 yards for the score. But now it's the Panthers' turn. Time to take over on offense. They'll look to their quarterback to take things over on his own accord. Marquise Hall ready to take the snap. Man in motion. Runs to the outside. Pitch back near side of the field. Able to slip past one tackler. Double move. And not quite able to make it back to the 35 before he's run out of bounds. That's Dejan Telfair being taken down.
Rodney Harris bursted off that edge and got to Telfair in the backfield. A good job by Telfair slipping off that tackle. But a plethora of Tigers were there for him after he shed that tackle and went down for a tackle for loss.
Looked like Isaiah Pilar in there on the tackle. Will set up 2nd and 11 for Euclid. Snap back looking right side. Cleveland Heights quickly making their way through and coming through on the sack and the strip sack, coming away with the ball. None other than Rodney Harris in there to recover it, and they quickly take back over, do the Tigers inside the 25, already leading 7-0. Still just under 11 minutes to go here in the first quarter.
Just a dominant first 2 plays by that Tigers defensive line. That time in on there in a hurry. Couldn't tell who got the strip sack, but Rodney Harris was able to jump on top of it. And now this is the danger, too, with this Heights High offense. Is they have the ability to score so quickly that the score could go from 0 to 20, just that quick. So now you see the Tigers getting the ball back just a minute after the touchdown, and the defense comes up big.
Jordan Rawlings of the Panthers coughs it up. And that'll put Tigers back on offense. Asher Wilson to take the snap. Hands off. John Gordon Jr. bouncing it to the outside. Puts his head down, and he's flipped over and taken down after a short gain. Tackle being made by Panthers defensive back Corday Hill. Sophomore. Official gain will be, give him 2 yards, make it 2nd and 8 for Cleveland Heights. Another handoff middle. Again, quickly spun down, back-to-back handoffs being taken from John Gordon Jr. He'll come up a little short, set up 3rd and short. 3 yards to go. And for the first time, we'll see this Heights offense in a 3rd down situation. Just one back in the backfield. Motion from left to right, taking it Amir Atkins on the jet sweep, able to make it near the 15, spun down. That'll be right at the first down marker. It'll all depend on the spot. At least it would have, of course, but penalty coming in, and that'll back up the Tigers and set up 3rd and long. Penalty on the senior Abdou Dié.
Holding. Offense, number 52. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat 2.
And we'll get a little bit of a double call there. Yeah. A hold comes in again, Abdou Dié. That'll back it up, make it roughly 3rd and 13. And that'll set up the Cleveland Heights High offense with another 3rd down. This time, a lot of yards to gain. And, Brendan, we might see standing quarterback Asher Wilson get to release the ball here.
Yeah, we don't see the Tigers pass the ball a lot, but in these 3rd and long situations, they usually do expect a lot of screen passes or something short.
8 games this year, starting quarterback Amar Lakes, just 53 attempts through the air. There you go, calling it screen pass. Ball is dropped, intended for Amir Atkins. Ball a little bit out in front of him, was unable to bring it in, and that sets up 4th and 13. But as it looks right now, it does not look like head coach Max Stevens' Tigers are going to come off the field on offense.
No, I like this call by Max Stevens. Might as well cross the 50 still around the 28-yard line. With how good this offense has got to be confident in them to pick this up, and if not, you put your defense out there in a good position to succeed with long field for the Panthers to go.
Deion Solomon checks in. Wilson rolling out to the right on the run. Pump fake, looking deep, and a good ball delivered over the top of the Panthers defense. Just inside the 15, but it might not be close enough to get the first. Based on where he spotted, and they will come up short. Nevertheless, a good ball from Asher Wilson, just a yard short of where it needed to be.
Yeah, unfortunately short, but a great ball. Asher Williams rolled out to his right, did a little bit of a pump fake. Looked like he had a read he wanted to throw to it, then decided to hold it. Looked like he was going to run it, then found Amir Atkins on the run through a strike. A great catch by Atkins, getting that toe down, but just looked a yard short. But now the good thing for the Tigers, turn the ball over, but Panthers starting inside their own 20.
It'll be from the 15-yard line for the Cleveland Heights High Tigers defense, now having to make another stand. Last time out, a strip sack for Rodney Harris. He came up with the ball. As long as he gets credited with that, it'll be his team-leading 8th. Direct snap, run out past the 20 before he's flipped down by Albert Green Jr. But a strong run coming out on first down from the Panthers will set up a 2nd and 3. 9:18 remaining in the first quarter. Cleveland Heights on top at the moment, 7-0.
Albert Green, 51 solo tackles on the year, his first tonight. That linebacker group with him and Mekhi Webb has been so good this year.
2nd and 3, another direct snap. Keeper through the middle before he's able to be taken down. That's going to be good enough for the first down as he's spotted out past the 25. Back-to-back good runs coming out for Marquise Hall. And the Panthers have picked up their first down here on this drive. Panthers offense struggled throughout the year. Hasn't scored more than 14 points in a game. And they start deep in their own territory, but are able to move the sticks. Will be another run for Hall. Makes a good move, and he's out past the 30 before he's taken down again. Hall able to display a little bit of the moves and really able to display a little bit of life for this Euclid offense early in this game.
Yeah, Jake, we've seen a few of those plays, that quarterback power, just catch the direct snap and the shotgun and run straight up the middle with it. For Hall, that's worked. This drive's got a few rushes of around 5 yards and another good one there.
So far, just had one man to beat on most of these. Whistles blow as the ball is snapped. It's going to be a false start coming out for the Panthers. Flag goes against 21 of Euclid. And Brennan, for us, Euclid roster, not labeled with the 21. So, mystery name on the false start. But either way, it'll back up Euclid 5 yards, set up a 2nd and 10. Handoff going right side, able to break through into the second level, out across the 35, taken down past the markers. Another good run for this Euclid team coming out, and again, the sticks are moved.
Marquise Hall once again, and now Panthers starting to get something going with this ground game. After a 3-and-out first drive, offense starting to get rolling here, despite the penalty.
A good bounce back for the Panthers. Ball officially spotted at the 39 as they near midfield. Cleveland Heights High defense setting up in motion. Dreonte Fazel. But another false start coming out by Euclid. Again on 21. Got no information on that, so we'll leave it there. 7:07 remain in the first quarter. Pair of substitutions coming on for Euclid. 10 men in the huddle. Jamal Jefferson Jr. at the bottom of the screen, standing alone. Says, I know my assignment.
Just got a straight one-on-one.
All ready to take the snap. Does so. Looks to run up the middle. He's wrapped up by Rodney Harris, unable to get back to the original line of scrimmage as he's taken down at the 37-yard line as whistles blow. Another strong defensive front. That'll set up 2nd and long. Early on in this game, Euclid seeming to run very similar style offense to Cleveland Heights in the fact that the ball is not going through the air yet for either team.
No, we saw them attempt that one pass on 3rd down on the first drive, but since then it's been all on the ground.
Snap back. Hall looks to pass, bounces outside, has a little bit of space as he looked for the edge, but breaking back inside, able to slip through a tackle out past the 40 before he's finally wrapped up. Marquise Hall staying slippery against this Cleveland Heights High defense.
Yeah, Hall. See this replay, very shifty. Another one of those keepers. That was the previous play. But on that one, able to break the tackle of John Gordon Jr. and then went down.
That'll set up 3rd and 6 for the Panthers. 5:30 remaining in the first quarter, 7-0. Tigers on top. Excuse me. Throw is made short, and it falls incomplete. Quarterback on the play was Jordan Rawlings, and he was trying to find Marquise Hall on the reception, unable to connect, sets up 4th and 6, and for the Panthers, looks like the punt unit's coming out.
Yeah, that time we saw a pass play, the second of the game for the Panthers. We'll try to screen pass. Rawlings trying to find Hall. Hall unable to make the catch. Another good pass rush by the Tigers front. Now the Panthers unwilling to try and go for it on 4th and medium here, 4th and 6. We'll opt to punt.
Set up Euclid. Able to pick up a pair of first downs. Really false starts coming back and hurting them on that drive. So on 4th and 6.
Infraction. Offense.
Team looks to
5 yards.
boot the ball away before they
down.
can. A little bit of mental mistakes coming out from the team. Legal substitution will back them up to 4th and 11. And we'll be looking to the boot once again.
Yeah, those penalties definitely add up for that offense, especially with an offense that's been struggling a lot this year, putting up more than 14 points a game.
Fazels boots up and away. He hits the ground, though. His flags fly. And his punt out past the 25, down near the 23, but Fazell on the ground. That'll almost certainly, if not give Euclid a first down, will push them into what would have been a closer punt. We'll see what they elect to do.
Personal foul. Roughing the kicker. Defense, number 5. It's a 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
And they do elect to call roughing the kicker, so 15-yard penalty that'll move the sticks and really will bail Euclid out of having to go for a punt and keep them on offense and move them right around midfield.
Yeah, Fazell definitely hit on that play. He's slow to get up, fortunately back on his feet. But always a dangerous play, the roughing the kicker. That time fortunate though for Euclid is a 15-yard penalty and the first down, so that offense comes back out. This time across midfield.
Yeah, the 50 yards will push them out to the 47 of Cleveland Heights. The offense rolls back out. Rawlings looks to be the man once again to take the snap. Looks like right now Taylor lined up next to him. Play wants to go to the outside. Handoff was to Taylor. Taylor taken down behind the line of scrimmage at the 50. For a 3-yard loss as we wind under 5 minutes in the first quarter.
Yeah, that time again, Rawlings under center, or in the shotgun as the quarterback. The few times we've seen him in there, it's usually seemed to be handing the ball off or if he's throwing the ball. But when there's that empty set in Marquise Hall, we've seen a lot of that quarterback power so far. So just being able to tell the plays that they're running based on who's at quarterback, just showing the different skill and abilities each player has.
Well, maybe looking to throw him off now, put Hall and Rawlings back. Hall going to be the man taking the snap. Drops back, looking to pass, has no time. Hit, taken to the ground in a plethora, 3 total. Tigers in on the tackle. Albert Green Jr., Makai Webb, as well, Aiden Carlisle, all combined to take down Hall in the backfield and set up 3rd and very long.
See how fast that pass rush came in. Hall looked like he was going to originally try and pass it, but just no time, had to tuck the ball. Tried to make an effort to run, but Aiden Carlisle looked to be the first guy in on him. Nowhere to go for Hall.
And Panthers' offensive line going to have to pick something up here. It seems like on every play, even the positive ones for the Panthers, there's 1, 2, 3 Cleveland Heights High defenders in the backfield. Drop back, Rawlings looking for the screen, batted up in the air and through the arms of Aiden Carlisle. Hands on head, he cannot believe he let that one go away. He had nothing but green in front of him. More than likely would have walked away with a pick 6 there for the big man. Instead, it'll be a 4th down for Euclid.
Yeah, it looks like kind of an alley-oop. Brandon Caesar tipped it right up to him because you could see, just unfortunately through the hands. It's one he'll want back, but the good thing is you got 4th down and Euclid likely to punt again here. But Brandon Caesar has been causing havoc on that D-line once again. It was a screen pass, but in there in a hurry. 6'4", such a tall figure, was able to get his hands up on that one.
I mean, he had a blocker in front and Caesar, nothing but a big man behind him. He was pretty much free and away. David Johnson, the only one who could have made the tackle. As the punt hits the ground near the 20, and John Gordon Jr., struggling to bring it in, will elect to just pounce on top of it and let his offense take over from there. Cleveland Heights a little bit lucky to come up with that one. John Gordon Jr. just struggling to find it. Eventually does so. 3:17 remaining in the first quarter. You see it right here. Gordon Jr. let it go through his hands and then was kind of stuck in that awkward spot that none of us ever want to be in, where you have a ball running away from you and you feel like you can reach down and go get it, but momentum says you have to get out in front of it. It's one of the most awkward experiences to do.
It's so tough and just smart by Gordon Jr. to just jump on it instead of trying to have that awkward reach for it and keep running, because usually sometimes ball gets away from you.
Wilson goes handoff. They look left side, but nothing doing there. Taken down almost immediately after the carry was Marquise Davis. That basically gets him back to the line of scrimmage, maybe give him a half yard on the play, and sets up second. We'll call it 10 from the Tigers' 20. Davis again, no reason not to mention it. Incredible feat. 368 yards on the ground in 6 touchdowns. Last week in the Tigers' 62-52 win over Medina. Davis with a carry again. Finds the outside as a flag flies. And the running back out past the 35. But something tells me this one most likely coming back.
Yeah, it definitely looks like maybe a hold there coming back against the offense.
Holding. Offense. Number 53. That'll be to the goal. Second down.
53. Hold comes out on Rodney Harris. That'll back up.
Correction.
Tigers once
10
again.
yards from the previous spot.
Was initially called half the distance to the goal, but was far enough that it'll be 10 yards. Marked off by the official crew. That'll back up Cleveland Heights near their own 10-yard line. 2:25 remaining in the first quarter. Tigers up 7-0. Another handoff. Marquise Davis bounces around the outside, finds a seam, but quickly taken to the floor as he crosses the 10. And is taken down after a very, very short gain.
Good tackle by Rynell Taylor. You know, it's always hard to bring down Davis, especially when he gets to that outside and gets that burst of speed, and it looked like he did for a second, and Rynell Taylor came flying in. Great job by the corner making that tackle on Davis.
Not an easy guy to bring down, and almost had a seam there, but was just sandwiched in between two Panthers defenders. You'll see it here. Another handoff up the middle. Davis upended and taken down. Guess who? Rynell Taylor in there again on the tackle. And that'll be fourth down. Unable to make it back to the original line of scrimmage near the 20-yard line, and that's enough for Max Stevens to say, all right, Gabe McKay, don't mind if you do. Go out there and let's see how far you can boot this thing.
Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, the holding penalty on Rodney Harris stalled that drive. Davis on that carry had the first down, but something that this offense is going to want to clean up. We saw this last week against Medina. Just way too many offensive penalties, a lot of holdings. Luckily, just the big playability, able to kind of cancel those out, didn't end up mattering too much. But here, all right, we've seen two holdings on the offense that time. It does cost them.
Punt up and away from McKay. Fair catch signaled, and there would have been room to take that one out. But instead, the fair catch will be taken around the 36. Be Dejan Telfair bringing that one in, and I don't think there was a Cleveland Heights High defender past the 50-yard line. He had nearly 15 yards of room to work with.
No, I agree. Telfair, when he fair caught that ball, only one of the gunners from the outside was coming in. I only saw one defender, and that was the gunner coming in. But Telfair looked like he definitely had room. He had 3 or 4 blockers ahead of him. Just that time decides to fair catch it, and that's the difference probably between starting at the 41 and starting across midfield.
There it is. Be the 36-yard line, 54 seconds. Hey, eyes are hard, math is hard. Try to stay away from it. But getting his bounce back, maybe the initial return he would have had out near the 45. Again, that's Telfair on the carry. And he's able to make it 8 yards. Bring up 2nd and 2.
Telfair is just a noticeably explosive runner. You see when he receives that handoff, just an instant burst of speed.
2nd and 2, looking across the midway point for the second time today. Clock running, 15 seconds. If they don't wish, Euclid doesn't have to call a play here to end the first quarter. Ball will be snapped, but flags fly. Looks to be a false start that's going to be signaled before anybody could get anything going. Plays blown dead, as it would have been Jordan Rawlings on the carry.
Dead ball. False start. Offense. Number 16. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Sophomore wide receiver David Hereford going to be called for the false start. And really early on in this game, it hasn't been the offense itself stalling itself out once the play gets going. Really, they've looked pretty good on the ground. It's just been the pre-play. A couple of false starts and illegal substitutions really backed this team up deep into their own territory as the first quarter draws to a close. Cleveland Heights up 7-0.
Yeah, good overall quarter for the Tigers. I'm sure they probably would have liked to have more points on the board, but defense was very, very solid. And other than that last drive, that offense was getting going pretty well. But hey, if you're the Euclid Panthers, also a great quarter, only limiting to this offense that put up 60 just a week ago, only to 7 in the first quarter, and that's a lot of the credit to that defensive line. I feel like they've been doing a good job at just getting to Marquise Davis in the backfield, and that's the way to take him down is if you can get to him when he initially gets that handoff. The second he has space to work with, that's when he ends up burning you. But the defensive line just doing a good job getting to him right off the jump, and it's been able to limit hit. Other than he did have that big touchdown carry, but other than that run, I thought this Euclid Panthers defense has been doing a very good job stopping the run, which is really the biggest and only threat of this Heights High Tigers offense. It's hard to say only threat because it's one of the best offenses in the state of Ohio, but
I mean, Marcus Davis has 29 touchdowns. It's not crazy to say.
No.
Obviously not the only threat, but he's certainly the main threat. Without Amar Lakes in today as well. Again, if you missed that as we start the second quarter here, Amar Lakes, sweatpants, hoodie, jersey on over top, not going for today. Sophomore Asher Wilson has been filling in at quarterback. 2nd and 7 for Euclid to begin the second quarter here. Snaps back, Hall taking it left side, breaks through the first unit, almost slipped through another tackle until he was dragged down and taken down by Simon Williams.
that time a good job by the offensive line. Hall just had a big gap to run through. We've seen a few of these QB powers just going straight up the middle, and it's a tough play because if the line doesn't help you out, then that's when you get the tackle for loss. But if the line helps you out, you get that big hole, and you have daylight to run, and that play he did.
We called on the line in the first quarter. Seemed like strong pressure coming in the entire time. 3rd and 1 up the middle. That's going to be enough to move the chains. Once again on the ground, the Panthers looking strong as Hall powers through to the 50-yard line.
Yeah, they've started to see some good consistency these last few drives. Haven't been able to ultimately convert on it, but ground game is picking up some speed, some steam.
1st and 10 from the 50. Hall again bounces it outside, back inside, and somehow turns that into a positive play. Split the difference on a couple of defenders. Brandon Caesar cut off the angle. Hall making a good move just to find anything. Looks to be a flag down near side of the field. We'll see what the call is.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense, number 69. 15 yards from the end of the run. 1st down.
Another 15-yard penalty coming out for the Tigers. Face mask that time on Jason Owens, the 6'1 junior. That's a big pickup for Euclid out across the 35. They'll have another 1st down starting at the 34 of Cleveland Heights as they look for an opportunity to even this game up at 7. Rawlings, Hall in the backfield. Couple of men in motion. Fazel from right to left. Hereford left to right. Hall again on the run. Looked to have a little bit of space, but found his offensive lineman in Mackay Webb. After that, able to wrap him up and take him down after a short gain. Officially a gain of 3 on the play. Sets up 2nd and 7. just outside the 30-yard line, nearing the red zone, 10:20 to go in the second quarter.
Another good carry that time, though. Unfortunately, ran into the offensive lineman, Dylan Beauford, on that play. Sometimes we see that a lot. Just the offensive lineman just trying to make a block. Gets a little too much in the way and takes him down.
I don't even think Beauford was engaged in a block at that point. He was looking to find somebody, and Hall just found him. Running up the middle again, met by everybody on the defensive line pretty much, and that's out to the 30. Short gain of 2 on the play, sets up third and just a few more feet than 5 yards. Jordan Rawlings that time on the carry. Still seeing that switch up, Rawlings, Hall. So far, the more effective runner today has been far and away Hall. Saw earlier Jamal Jefferson Jr. not wanting to join in on the huddle. That time, sprinting all the way to the sideline, getting the call and bringing it back. Third down, hard count, flags fly.
Dead ball. False start. Offense, number 12. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
And it'll be a false start against Euclid. Kymari Friesen, I thought for sure that one was going against Cleveland Heights. Instead, the false start backs them up to the 35, sets up third and 10.5. That one almost certainly seemed to be going against the Tigers. A couple of guys jumped, but they get Friesen for the false start on the outside.
You could see for the Tigers, Simon Williams looked like he jumped off the edge, but another wide receiver for the Panthers committing a false start.
That'll back him up and make this a very difficult third down to pick up. Haven't seen much through the air. Look to see it here. Hall airing out down the sideline. Bobbled off the hands of Pilar. Walked into the end zone. What a bizarre play coming out, and it ends in 6 for the Panthers.
Just a bizarre play. It looked like an underthrown ball. Isaiah Pilar, as you can see, turned around, was in a good place to make that interception. Just went off his hands. 21 right there. Right place at the right time. Makes that catch. Just falls right into his hands. He'll say, thank you, I'll take that. Walks into the end zone, but an underthrown ball and what surely looked to be an interception now goes for 6 for the Panthers.
That ball underthrown by Hall should have been picked off. Instead, a touchdown for Euclid. Now they look for a 2-point conversion. Hall bouncing on the outside, looks for a screen. That one picked off on the inside. Big man coming away with it. Not going to let him go for the return, of course. But that's Jason Owens able to come up with the interception on the 2-point conversion, which will keep Cleveland Heights on top, 7-6 with 8:41 remaining in the second quarter. But they will not be happy on that, as it should have been a pick by Pilar. And here you'll see the defensive pressure from the Tigers. Looking on that inside, Jason Owens jumping the route. Not the most conventional. He was ready to house that one. A full 90 yards.
I know. Too bad this is an NFL. He could have taken that to the house for 2. Always love to see the big man interceptions.
Big man could have gone for the layup.
Yeah.
Made this a real interesting score of a game, 9-6, if he would have been able to return it. But again, not the case. Heights on top, 7-6, 8:41 in the second.
The Panthers responded. An offense that's been stagnant a lot this year. That time, a drive that some good runs and then a few costly penalties by the Tigers, and then the bounce into the hands of 21. And what seemed to be was going to be a takeaway for the Tigers, but now for the Panthers don't get the 2-point conversion, still down 1, but a good response for the Panthers that's been struggling to do that all year.
No roster, or the roster we have, no number of 21. You feel bad, especially now at this point. Comes away with a touchdown, you hate to see it. Brendan going to be doing the investigative work, see if he can find anything out. But in the meantime, Mystery Man finds the end zone for 6. You can write that as your head storyline from this game. Kickoff ready to be kicked away. Rawlings going to be the holder. 21, Brendan doing a great job. Amani Powell comes away with the touchdown. High boot, going to be returned. John Gordon Jr. finding the far sideline. Out across the 45, chased into the Euclid bench. And will officially be spotted at the 44 of Cleveland Heights. Now 2 weeks in a row, John Gordon Jr., some really, really good returns. Teams have to start thinking to keep that thing away from him.
Yeah, he's been the primary guy, and returns have been great, but just also special teams play in general. And that was one of the things that ultimately won the game for the Tigers last week in the shootout versus Medina, was just the special teams was so much better. We saw a few plays that turned the game on its head.
Yeah, think back to the peanut punch from last week. Ethan Golden came away with that one on a deep kickoff return. Correction on 21, Keyshawn Telfair with the touchdown. So Telfair, the mystery man, we got it figured out now.
Timeout. Euclid. It's our first of the half.
A big touchdown coming away, Keyshawn Telfair. And it'll be a timeout from Euclid in the meantime. 8:30 remaining in the second quarter. Heights on top, 7-6 as the Panthers call for a defensive timeout. And on time to call for a timeout too, Brendan. Not a single play being ran on this drive yet.
No, and never really a time where you want to have to burn a timeout, especially still in a close game. You want to keep those timeouts down towards the end of the half in case you really need them. But this time, Euclid must have really seen something they didn't like on the defensive side of the ball in order to call one there. It's just very rare you see those timeouts called at the start of a drive. Usually when that defense comes out, they have a good idea of how that first play is going to be scripted. But that time, coach thought it was necessary to call a timeout. Probably for the best.
Defense ready to go now. Panthers 2 timeouts remaining for the rest of this half. And the offense ready to take back over. Snaps back. That's Amir Atkins handling the duties. He hands it off left side, trying to bounce it to the outside. John Gordon Jr. wrapped up in the backfield. Spun down and taken down for the loss. John Gordon Jr. on the play will lose 1, sets up 2nd and 11.
That time Telfair does a great job of shedding off a block. He's doing it on both sides of the ball right now. Came off that block, was able to tackle John Gordon Jr., Marquise Davis's counterpart.
Keyshawn Telfair says, don't have my number on the roster, we're going to find it out, and I'll have you call my name a few times. So the run goes up the middle, nearing the 50. Looked like John Gordon Jr. Flags fly near midfield as players were gathered around. And you almost have to certainly think that was something said near that middle of the pile that forced out the penalty. We'll see what we have here.
Dead ball. Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. Offense. Number 3. That'll be 15 yards. 2nd down.
Penalty will go against
Correction, 3rd down.
Cleveland Heights. And I guess it wasn't anything said, but instead something done. Didn't quite see it with my eyes. Not sure if you caught it, Brendan, but that's on Keontae Turner, the unnecessary roughness call. And that'll back up 3rd and very long for the Tigers now.
Yeah, definitely something in the middle of the pile. Also important to note, Amir Atkins in a quarterback for the Tigers. We saw him last week when Amar Lakes seemed to get banged up for a little bit. Atkins was the guy to come into the game today. Though Asher Wilson started the first 2 drives. Now we see Atkins back in the game at quarterback.
Yeah, Atkins almost certainly gives you more with his legs than you would imagine Wilson does, just based on what we've seen. It'll be handoff middle, instead ripped back by Atkins. Atkins trying to find some room up the middle. Stopped right along the 42-yard line. And that'll be short of the first.
Spoke that one, went right into existence, Jake. Atkins with the carry.
He's slippery. I mean, a wide receiver traditionally that also plays your backup quarterback, certainly he's going to be able to move around, and he's got some speed. He was wrapped up and taken down there by Jamal Jefferson. As you saw him broke into the second unit. 4th down. Call it 2. Cleveland Heights only up by 1 point with 6:40 remaining here in the second quarter. Not going to test anything. They'll bring out Gabe McKay to punt the ball away. 2 returners deep for Euclid. One of those, Dejan Telfair. Punt will go to the other side. Low-hanging punt. Jamal Jefferson Jr. going to take it far side of the field, out across the 50, and he steps out of bounds. Going to be officially spotted at the 48 of Cleveland Heights. There is a flag down in the middle of the field.
See what the call was, but
Bit of a gathering there near the far sideline of Euclid.
seeing great special teams play now out of the Panthers. Jefferson, a great return, barring whatever this penalty is. The penalty is really starting to add up in this first half. We've seen it really picking up.
Here we go for the call.
During the return, personal foul, blindside block, return team, number 26. That'll be 15 yards from the spot of the foul.
A blindside block coming
First
in.
down.
We saw a couple of those last week going against Cleveland Heights. This time, going to save them from a long return and back Euclid starting field position up inside their own 40 at the 36. Looks like they'll give them the 37 to start. So just over 6 minutes remaining here in the first half. Cleveland Heights, a slow start here against the Panthers. This will be Hall in the backfield. 2 running backs with him. 1 receiver far on each side. Snaps back, looking to pass. Hall wants the far sideline, has a man, and he's open across the 20. No tackle made. High stepping into the end zone. Jamal Jefferson Jr. and Euclid is on top.
Jamal Jefferson Jr. made the big special teams play happen. It comes back. He says, never mind, I'm going to make another big play again by myself. That time a great throw and a great catch by Jefferson. And the Euclid Panthers have the lead.
Marquise Hall planting that one right on Jefferson's helmet.
Yeah, Marquise Hall, he can sling the football. That one a perfect pass. One-on-one coverage.
Looks like we have both teams
Ineligible
coming back.
player, downfield, offense. It's a 5-yard penalty from previous spot. First down.
An ineligible man downfield for Euclid brings back a massive, what would have been a 68-yard touchdown throw, and instead it'll just be backed up to the initial line of scrimmage and a few yards farther. That is a momentum killer for the Panthers.
Yeah, tough on just a play like that, too, when you take a deep shot. There's really no reason why you should have a lineman that far downfield. Really tough breaking for the Panthers, and a good one for the Tigers, who now, instead of the big touchdown pass and being down, just back them up more yardage. But especially for a Panthers team that has struggled so mightily on offense, you get a big touchdown pass there, goes so far, not only just with the score, but gets you that momentum. Called back, though.
As a former offensive lineman, that's one that, boils your blood.
Yeah.
Just sitting there thinking about it. The only reason you would have a man downfield's on a screen play. Mm-hmm. And at that point, you're perfectly good to be down there.
Yeah,
there's no reason in pass block that you should be going beyond the line of scrimmage.
And that was really an immediate, the throw from Hall and the one-on-one Jefferson, you kind of knew the second that play happened that it was just going to be a throw on that, with trying to highlight that one-on-one. No reason at all for that offensive line, any of them, to be that far downfield.
1st and 15. Marquise Hall looking to the outside, bounces back inside, but he's going to be wrapped up before he can get anywhere. He's slung down. Looks like Albert Green Jr. in there on the tackle. All unable to get things going. Looks like a gain of 1 will be the official marker there coming out from our referees. 2nd and 14 coming up with 5.5 minutes remaining in the first half. Again on this drive, Euclid being called back from a 68-yard touchdown pass. That would have put them up ahead of the Tigers. Instead, a long field to go once again. all ready to take the snap. 2 receivers to his right. End around, taking the carry is going to be Dejan Telfair. He's out across the 30, looking for the 35, and he's wrapped up at the ankle. Josiah Jones in there to bring in the stop before Albert Green Jr. could help escort him out of bounds.
Sneaky end around play, and one that we haven't seen so far tonight. You see on the replay.
Great job there to make the first man miss, but it really was nowhere to go. Albert Green, Josiah Jones playing perfect contain there on the outside.
Yeah, great one-on-one tackle. It was especially hard to make, and when there is some open field around there, Jones just wrapped Telfair up just enough to make the tackle.
Sets up 3rd and 12. Panthers looking to build on what would have been a big drive and not letting it stall out. They're going to need a big 3rd down play to make it happen.
Dead ball. Delay a game. Offense number 4.
And that's not going to help.
5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Delay game comes out on Euclid, and you can just back it up from 3rd and 12 to 3rd and 17. And now if you're the Panthers, with 5 minutes remaining here in the half, you probably consider just seeing what yardage you could get back here to set up your punter. Snaps back, they'll look to throw. Screen pass to the outside. Hall unable to make the first man miss, and he's brought down for a loss. Who else but Albert Green Jr. on the tackle?
Green Jr., the play recognition, his awareness in the field, knew what was happening immediately. There, the second the catch was made, able to make the tackle. That's what you love to see out of a linebacker, reading that play, the captain in the center of the field.
I mean, no hesitation there. He sprung from his position, instantly recognized Hall on the outside, and shot that play down immediately.
Yeah, the second that snap was in Rawlings' hand, Green already there, just waiting for Marquise Hall to catch that pass.
Fazel now back to punt, high booming kick, bounce at the 40 and take a big hop in favor of Euclid as it rolls inside the 20-yard line before finally it'll be down near the 19. They'll give him the 18. A huge punt coming out from Dreante Fazel that completely flips the field.
Yeah, big-time punt. Deep in their own zone, Fazel. That's exactly what he was called on to do in that situation. With time winding down here in the first half, just flip that field. Does it better than could have even drawn up. It's a great roll. And the Tigers setting up inside their own 20.
Definitely not the way the Panthers are happy that one ended after the illegal man downfield calls back a touchdown. But if you're looking for a consolation prize, getting the Tigers to start on their own 18 with just over 4 minutes remaining in the half, not too shabby. Mir Atkins looks outside, finds John Gordon Jr. with some space as he bounces back in. Flag flies as he crosses 25. A one-on-one matchup there between a receiver and corner. And if I was a betting man here, I would have to say this one going to come back for a hold.
Yeah, it looks like Jeffrey Ward.
Yeah, Ward on the outside. More than likely are going to be called for a hold.
Holding. Offense. Number 14. That'll be half the distance to the goal. First down.
I said 14 on the outside. I'm going to assume a number mix-up because that was Jeffrey Ward out there.
Yeah, there was no other wide receiver in that area, and that flag went up.
Would have been on Josiah Jones, who was on the field at the time, but, again, not the guy who was out making that block when the flag came in. Either way, he sets up 1st and 20. Now pushed back inside their own 10-yard line is the Tigers' offense. Atkins immediately tucks the ball, wants to run to the left. He has nowhere to go. Met inside the 5-yard line. And a big tackle being made by James Tessino.
That defensive line for the Panthers, they look good tonight. Tessino that time just breaking through. You could see on that edge, completely past that Rodney Harris, the left tackle. Able to get to Atkins. Atkins nowhere to go. Big loss on the play.
Atkins with no thought on the play other than to tuck that one and run, and he had no room. Handoff middle this time. Marquise Davis met by the defensive line, and that'll fire up the Panthers defense. They contain a 4-star running back for no gain on the play. If anything, give him a couple of yards.
Yeah, the Panthers are forcing the Tigers to run the ball up the middle of the field. We see Marquise Davis, when he's at his best, is when he's getting to that outside and he gets that burst of speed, but that defensive line has just forced him to try and take it up the middle because they've been shedding the offensive lineman's block so quickly. Just been getting to him that much faster, and it's been making it super hard for Davis to do anything.
Looks to be 3rd down and 21. Handoff will go to Davis. He breaks through a tackle, able to fight through to the middle, but he's taken down before he can get to the 10-yard line. Again, in on the tackle looked to be James Tessino. And oh boy, here we go. Flags fly on the outside as players join one another. And if you're the Euclid defense, you hope this penalty isn't on you because you just came away with a huge stop deep in the territory of Cleveland Heights. And if that's negated here, you got to imagine there's going to be some angry coaches on the sideline.
Oh, without a doubt. That flag definitely after the play. We'll see here.
If you're Cleveland Heights, you have no room really to back up.
After the play, dead ball. Personal foul. Offense, number 25. Dead ball, personal foul. Defense, number 26. Those penalties offset. 4th down.
So, for both sides, offsetting penalties, personal fouls coming in on both Euclid and Cleveland Heights. In terms of field position, both sides
Timeout.
lucky to come away.
Euclid. That is their 2nd of the half.
Plenty of conversation happening inside. Warnings issued to both sides. 2:25 remaining here in the 2nd quarter. Either way, will set up 2nd and very long. Be roughly 18. Gabe McKay going to have a tough task at hand, and that's to do as much as you can to set up a long field here for the Panthers. 2:25 again. That's still plenty of time for Euclid to get any offensive position going as they trail by 1 here in the 2nd quarter.
Gabe McKay inside his own end zone. Try and ideally get it past the 50, but I mean, that'd still be a boot. The Panthers have two returners back there, so likely nothing's going to go over their head. They're trying to eliminate that. But just for McKay trying to boot that ball as far as you can downfield.
His toes planted at his own goal line. Snap is back. Boot is low, and it'll be near the 50. Initially mishandled by Jamar Jefferson Jr., but now spaced to the outside. He's out to the 40, cutting back inside, fighting for every yard. And he might have gotten down to the 39. It looks like he'll be spotted right at the 40-yard line. 2:10 remaining here in the 1st half. And it'll just be a 40-yard field for Euclid. If they're able to put any points on the board, it would swing this game in their favor. You see Jamar Jefferson there on the return. The mishandle there actually ended up coming back to almost help him out.
That time decided to take the reach of faith and pick that one up. Was able to get a few yardage out of it. Now 2:10 to go in the 1st half. Euclid now has this time at their leisure. They probably don't want to give the ball back to Heights quickly, so trying to score while running this clock out is a big priority for them on this drive. They have good field position to do it.
And they'll be working with 2 timeouts. Marquise Hall able to make a big run out past the 30, taking it to the left side, and another successful run coming out for the 5'10 senior. And that sure just got a whole lot shorter, did that field. That is Marquise Hall slicing this defense. See him on the outside, cutting back in front of his lead blocker. That's the other man that's been taking snaps today, and Jordan Rawlings. Really think about a quarterback on this roster. in terms of those two guys, neither of them listed as a QB, both as running backs. Hall, another carry to the left, looking to find anything he can, slips through another couple of tackles, pushing his way inside the 25. He'll be taken down near the 22-yard line as the clock continues to wind. A minute 18 now in this first half. Panthers just outside the red zone.
Hall's just so shifty. See him on that carry, all the cuts he was making, just slicing up this defense. It's been hard to bring down, and just because he's so quick and agile, the quick movements.
Euclid trying to move quick. A minute remaining. Hall gets a snap, cuts it back inside up to the 20. And now if you're the Panthers, you have to start looking to use a timeout or really get your offense into gear. The offense huddling up, players taking calls from the sideline. Clock's continuing to wind. Coming down to near 40 seconds.
Yeah, no real sense of urgency. Kind of surprising. Clock does stop if they stop momentarily if they pick up this first down, but other than that, this clock winding out quick. They still got 2 timeouts.
Hall taken down by Jaquan Stubbs on that last carry. Now 25 seconds. Hall looking for the end zone, right side. Pilar not going to let it go this time. Picked off in the back of the end zone. That's how you do it on a senior night. Coming away for the DB. Gave up the touchdown last time on a ball that went through his arms on a deflection. This time, you'll see him sure-handed in the back of that end zone, not giving it up.
That time looked kind of identical to that touchdown. Previous drive was an underthrown ball. That time, though, the senior Pilar able to come up with it, and a big-time takeaway for the Tigers, who now will go into halftime with the lead and still have some time to work with, should they decide to try and run a few plays here with 18 seconds left. But a big-time takeaway by Pilar.
Pilar able to come away with the pick, but you have to question the clock management there of Euclid down the stretch. 2 timeouts, did not elect to use either of them, and the team really burned 40 seconds there on that last play that ended in a pick. Cleveland Heights going to kneel it out and be satisfied taking their 7-6 lead into the half. Again, Tigers 7-1, Panthers 1-7, keeping this game close through the first.
Yeah, definitely satisfied. But I also think they probably
That
wish
is the
they
end
had
of the first half.
some more points on the board. Just a lot of missed opportunities, a lot of penalties that have costed them so far in this first half, only going up a point. But that's why you got halftime, got that time to reset, come out even better. Just time to keep those heads up and come back out for the second half.
Yeah, you look on either side. You mentioned it from Euclid. You have to think the penalties coming back to really hurt you. A big 65-plus yard pass that would have went for a touchdown, called back on an illegal man downfield. Then on the other side for Cleveland Heights, your star running back, Marquise Davis, aside from a 44-yard touchdown run, has pretty much been bottled up to this point.
Without a doubt. Very close half, and probably closer than much anticipated going into this one. But hey, it's the game of football. Any given day, whoever shows up, anyone can win. And Euclid so far tonight looks like they're playing with a lot of fire. So props to them.
Cleveland Heights looking to stay undefeated in the GCC at 5-0 in this game. Euclid still looking for their first win in the conference. Stepping away for the half, Tigers leading the Panthers 7-6 right here on the CHUH Schools YouTube channel. Don't go anywhere. Halftime festivities coming up, and after that, second half resumes.
Cleveland Heights High School proudly presents the Heights Tiger Marching Band. Our 2023 production is called All Around Town. On your funkiest threads as we jam the Macklemore, riding our mopeds down Cedar Road while going downtown. From the streets of Cuyahoga County to the streets of Paris and Rome, where King Louis XVI used to roam. Viva la vida. Now that we've gone downtown and across the world, let's come back uptown to the Heights, where the band will uptown funk you up with their playing and dancing. Coalition and our music department would like to thank you for your support. As always, a special thank you to the athletic department, the custodial staff, the security staff, the administration for their support. And once again, let's have a big shout out for all of our band seniors, as well as the cheerleaders and football team.
Tiger Nation, put those nachos down and that Tiger dog, cause it's time for the 50-50 raffle. Get those tickets out. Again, we appreciate your support, Euclid fans and Tiger Nation, of the 50-50 raffle. Half the proceeds go to that phenomenal marching band. It helps them pay for uniforms, travel, food, and much more. So your participation is very much appreciated. All right. The winning ticket color is gold. The winning ticket number 289 117 289 117. Come to the press box to claim your prize of $188. Again, the winning ticket color and number is gold. 289 117. Claim your prize of $188, and we appreciate your support and participation.
7-6, the Cleveland Heights High Tigers lead the Euclid Panthers after the half. Jake Volnick alongside Brendan Cancier on the CHUH Schools YouTube channel. And Brendan, in that half, Cleveland Heights, the clear favorite coming into today, was expected to take this game pretty handily, but Euclid keeping it close through a good portion of that game. And really, minus a penalty, Euclid should be up in this game.
Yeah, without a doubt. Just a really slow half for both teams starting out on offense. Both defenses look good, especially the run defense for Euclid has been fantastic tonight in slowing down Marquise Davis. But a few penalties that, not just a few penalties, a lot of penalties, both sides that have been costly. You think about the one on the legal man downfield, that touchdown to Jamal Jefferson got called back on. Like you said, Euclid would be in the lead. If that didn't get called back, and aside from the 44-yard touchdown run by Marquise Davis in the very early moments of the first quarter in this game, there really hasn't been anything. And on top of that, just not any chances in the red zone. A lot of the offense is just staying stagnant around midfield. So hoping that'll pick up in the second half.
Without a doubt, and this isn't the first time we've seen something like this out of the Tigers either, a game that they should take pretty handedly and just simply don't. I mean, look back, Brunswick in their fourth game was a 13-10 win, and that was a game that Cleveland Heights should have walked away with ease. Brunswick right now in the season, 1-7, their only win coming against the Euclid team they're going up here against today. You can also look at Hudson. Hudson was a 34-31 win. Hudson 6-2 on the season, but also playing in a much weaker conference. Again, 7-6 here today as both teams are getting ready. It's like some mistiming coming out overall.
Yeah, it looked
on
like
the field, but
maybe the cheerleaders were out ready to do something, and
time clock
expired.
Clock wasn't ready to go. Hit triple zeros, and football was ready to resume. Hate to see that, especially on a senior night.
Yeah, it's a tough one with the timing. I don't know.
Yeah, not pointing fingers on either side.
No.
Just an unfortunate scene out in front. Either way, there's going to be 12 minutes on the clock, and Cleveland Heights is going to be ready to kick off. Again, Euclid going to start with the ball here in this second half. Cleveland Heights went down on their opening drive of the game and scored a touchdown and a 44-yard touchdown run by Marquise Davis, who, Brendan, you mentioned earlier at the start of this half, been bottled up through the first two quarters.
Without a doubt for the Tigers, getting him going is going to be one of the keys of the second half.
I mean,
for Euclid, I'd say just keep doing what they're doing. Their defenses look phenomenal, and the offenses look good. Some good drives that have ended up stalling, a few turnovers, but other than that, I thought Rynell Taylor, Marquise Hall, Jamal Jefferson all look good on offense for them.
McKay's kick nearing the sideline. Nobody from Euclid goes to grab it, and flying up the near sideline, nobody else than Keontae Turner snags the ball up, and Cleveland Heights actually going to start on offense after the recovered kick. McKay kind of just with the odd squib there, and nobody from Euclid looking to pressure it. That's Chris Jones as well as Cornelius Crenshaw, both sort of looking at it with palms up, nobody going for the ball, and Keontae Turner said, don't mind if I do.
Yeah, both just kind of watched that ball as it went, and similar to the kick we saw McKay have earlier, his opening kickoff, after the touchdown, just that short little high squib kick that ended up bouncing. The first time it went out of bounds, that time stays in bounds. The Tigers capitalize.
Asher Wilson back at quarterback, handoff to Marquise Davis. That goes nowhere. Davis looked to bounce it outside, wrapped up at the ankle. Tackle looked to be made by none other than Rynell Taylor. Taylor's had his name all over this game on the defensive end for Euclid.
Yeah, he's been great, the corner. He's done such a good job stopping the run game, stepping in. Just being able to read those plays and make a good jump.
We mentioned in an early point in the ball game, too, it's really forced the Tigers to try to run the ball inside more, where a lot of their success has come on the outside. Wilson, play action, throw to the right side. That's John Gordon Jr. pushing his way up the sideline and ran out of bounds. Looks to be about a 3-yard gain coming out for Gordon Jr. and will set up third down and roughly 8.
Great catch made by Gordon Jr. A ball that looked like it was kind of thrown behind him on the design Design pass. Good job to get some yardage out of that. Now 3rd down and 8 for the Tigers, just trying to pick up 5 or 6 in the ground, make it 4th and manageable. And if not that, just the best thing to do would be to get the 1st down here.
Tight formation, nobody extended out wide in terms of wide receivers, just on that far sideline. A lone man at the top of your screen. Marquise Davis, motion to the right hip. Head coach Max Stevens looking to draw up a play. He's going to call on his star running back, Marquise Davis, pushing his way forward near the 35 and is taken down. Not going to have enough for the 1st down. And it'll bring up 4th and roughly 6. But no surprise here. Looks like the offense is going to stay out there.
Yep, only 1 yard on the play, but still on the other side of the field and out of field goal range. You would imagine just might as well go for it in this situation.
What do you do here if you're Heights? No success outside, no success inside. They'll go through the air. Wilson to Ward. Ward finding a little bit of space out across the 20, down to the 15. He's taken down after the gain, and that's another 1st down. 11 yards on the reception for Jeffrey Ward. And just like that, into the red zone go the Tigers.
Jeffrey Ward, another of those guys you can see catches the screen pass. Just so tough to bring down, the 6'4 sophomore. So much upside going to be at Cleveland Heights for a while.
Handoff middle, John Gordon Jr. Nowhere to go. He fought back to the line of scrimmage for no gain. But you mentioned it, Ward. Huge frame, gets plenty of playtime as a sophomore. And his Cleveland Heights high team does not go through the air often, but when they do, first thing that comes to my mind a lot of the time are those 50-50 balls back corner of the end zone. Ward usually the guy they look to. Wilson at quarterback, standing in his own 20. He'll hand it off. Marquise Davis, right side, gets up off the ground, up and over a diving Ryanell Taylor as he pushes out past the 10-yard line before he's wrapped up and whistles blows. His forward progress was stopped.
Last week we saw that hurdle Marquise Davis had that got called back due to the flag, but just one of those show-stopping hurdles. This time kind of does a mix of it, but that time legal doesn't go fully over, but just kind of jumps over Ryanell Taylor. Just an athletic play by Davis and something we've seen so much this season, and that one will stand.
Taylor was pretty much parallel with the ground looking to make the tackle. Davis maybe got away with one. Now running to the outside, quarterback filling in Amir Atkins out at the 10, and he's taken to the ground inside the 10, make it the 9, but there is a flag down right at the 11-yard line on the near side of the field. Jeffrey Ward, the receiver, over there. And the offense looks to be backing up.
Illegal block in the back. Offense, number 2.
Penalty comes in on Cleveland Heights. An illegal block in the back. That's going to be on Henry Perriman.
Illegal block in the back. Offense, number 2. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd.
Confirmation, block in the back from Perriman. 10-yard penalty. Will back up the Tigers. That's one where I didn't see it. I don't think you saw it as well. Picking up a block in the back there. Don't want to call it a difficult task, but it's pretty much. Pretty quick run to the outside. Perriman getting called for it. 8:50 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Now 3rd and long. Run going to go up the middle. Amir Atkins finding some space, but the ball pops loose. Euclid falling on it, and now the ball loose again, out of bounds. As the ball rolls out, the question is, did Euclid gain possession at any point?
Wow. I don't know. I don't think so.
That ball seemed to be loose for quite some time, and if it pops out like that again, hard to imagine.
Yeah, it looked like Isaiah Williams, or no, it was...
Like Jamar Jefferson Jr., the one who popped it loose. And then after that,
26.
It was Keyshawn Telfair.
Yeah, it looks like...
Ball rolled down long at the 1-yard line.
Huge break for the Tigers.
Tigers come away. It's going to be 1st and goal. coming inside the 5. Amir Atkins loses the ball. Euclid seemed to recover.
Yeah, it looked like Zion Thomas just jumped on that ball, had a prime opportunity to get the takeaway, just threw his hands.
Atkins outside, cuts it inside, and he's into the end zone for a Cleveland Heights High Tigers touchdown to put them up 13-6, pending a Gabe McKay extra point. Amir Atkins getting it done on the ground, extending the Cleveland Heights lead.
It's big time for the Tigers coming out of halftime, putting points up on your first drive after jumping on that kick from Gabe McKay, that time Amir Atkins. After the fumble, responds with a touchdown.
You see kind of the two quarterback setup happening. Andrew Wilson started that drive. Amir Atkins comes in. He's the one who coughs it up, but he's also the one who gets the redemption and is able to score the touchdown as McKay's extra point does not go through. So it's still going to be a 7-point game here. Cleveland Heights on top of Euclid 13-6 with 8:33 remaining in the third quarter.
Yeah, McKay's extra point looked like it went wide left. That one big. Makes the difference between an 8-point ball game and a 7-point ball game. Could be a 6-point ball game had the Panthers converted on their 2-point conversion, but nonetheless, great drive by Heights, getting back on track. Did take a lucky break on the fumble, but that happens sometimes in the game of football and doesn't end up mattering, doesn't end up hurting them. Amir Atkins goes in himself. Just a big response at a halftime after what I'm sure some of the players thought was a disappointing half, and come right out of the gates and put 6 up is big time.
Yeah, you talk about teams getting a little bit of luck. And a game that's 13-6, I can count probably way too many times for that either side has come up lucky. You think initially touchdown for Euclid, a ball that pops off the hands of Isaiah Pilar and is ended up taking in for their lone score. And then what wouldn't have been their lone score is called back to an illegal man downfield that had no impact on the play. And then right there the Tigers get lucky again as the ball pops loose for Amir Atkins and just happens to make its way out of bounds without Euclid taking possession, and then it ends in a touchdown. Kick is squibbed high, flags fly as the ball's kicked, and this likely a penalty coming out on Cleveland Heights, maybe somebody getting going there a little bit too early.
Kicking team, 5 yards.
Yeah, let's just back up the kick.
40,
Ryan Taylor, though, all over. Gabe McKay tried that exact same kick he did on the last one that Heights recovered, just that short high squib kick, but Ryan Taylor standing right in that position. Euclid sure not to make that same mistake they did last time.
Not a lot of wind impacting the game here tonight. We've seen McKay boot plenty out of the back of the end zone. Hasn't elected to try to do that at all yet today. Yeah, we mentioned it earlier on in the broadcast. Cleveland Heights finding success on special teams, both offensively and defensively. Another low kick from McKay. Another flag being thrown out.
I was going to say it looked like the same exact thing happened again. Couldn't tell if it was
Dead ball. Encroachment. Kicking team. 5-yard penalty. The ball will be placed for free kick.
I mean, at this point, I'm telling McKay, put your leg into it.
Yeah.
And everybody else stay back and run after he kicks the ball. Back-to-back penalties on the kickoff. Now McKay going to be booting it from his own 30-yard line. And if they're going to stick with the same mentality, I mean, this squib could end up near the 40 or 50-yard line.
No, it'd be tough to try and do that now, especially so backed up. It's just giving the Panthers free good field position.
McKay ready to boot again. This time he does elect to put it as far as he can. A booming kick that bounces finally into the end zone after a few hops. If that one would have sat on the one, wow, that would have been a tough scene coming out for Euclid. But it does find the back of the end zone. McKay able to boot it off from his own 30. And finally things calm down as Euclid will take over on offense.
Yeah, big time boot from McKay, and it did look like for a second had a chance to just sit on that 1 yard line. Just goes a few yards into the end zone. But now out comes Euclid Panthers for the first time in this second half. And although only 6 points on the board that first half, they did seem to catch a little consistency on the ground game a few times, and then even in the air, despite the interception, one touchdown pass, and then the other one that went to Jefferson that got called back was a very good throw and catch as well. So an offense that looked pretty solid for the amount of points they've been putting up so far this year. They'll seek to get the same consistency in the second half.
Unfortunately for them, nowhere to go. Makai Webb shutting down Marquise Hall on the carry. No gain, sets up 2nd and 10 for the Panthers as we get down near 8 minutes in the third quarter. A strong pressure coming in from that defensive front, and really that's been the key to their success all day long and all season long. A defensive front that causes plenty of issues for other teams. It's going to be Hall in the backfield alongside Rawlings. Snap to Hall, looking to find room up the middle, nowhere to go. Looked like Brandon Caesar that time off the edge, forcing Hall inside, able to make the tackle.
Yeah, Caesar did force him to go inside, and Hall was going to try and take that one to the outside and then had to make a juke move back in and just got caught up into that defensive line. A few Tigers in the middle, just a log jam, nowhere for Hall to go.
Sets up 3rd down and 12. See it right there, Caesar forcing him to go inside. Man who looked to get his hands on him immediately was Simon Williams. 3rd and 12. Hall taking the snap, back to pass, looking short. That one well over his receiver's head. Intended receiver Jamal Jefferson Jr. And that'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, dangerous pass thrown. Probably lucky Jefferson Jr. didn't catch that one because there was a defensive back right in the area ready to lay the boom. Also, a pass that didn't look close, could have gotten intercepted. Just a dangerous pass and all.
Instead, a man walking onto the field who's seen plenty of action here today, Dreonte Fazel.
Fazel's had a few good punts today. I think back in the first half, that big one that switched field position, switched the side of the field. He's been good, had a few good ones, and now deep in his own territory. He's going to be tasked to try and put this one across midfield.
Fazel, not a guy that punting I would want to be running at me as a returner. 6 foot, 200 pounds. John Gordon Jr. lets that punt skip past him, and it'll roll inside the Cleveland Heights High 30 and be downed right along the 27-yard line. Another good punt coming out from Fazel will make it a long field for the Tigers.
Yeah, another good punt from Fazel. But if you're the Tigers, hey, you do your job there. Score the touchdown, defense comes out, gets a 3 and out, and now you get the ball right back just a few moments later. So the Tigers going to try and do something they haven't done all night, score those touchdowns and consecutive possessions, and something they've done a lot this year, especially looking back to last week. Just the instant offense, and try and get that feeling back. The second half now is their second possession coming out.
Marquise Davis pretty much been bottled up in this one. Not currently on the field, standing on the sideline. John Gordon Jr., the man in the backfield alongside Amir Atkins. Atkins rolls out, trying to find the outside, wrapped up at the ankle, taken down inside the 20. Nowhere to go on the play, in another disastrous outside run for the Tigers.
Guess who made that sack? Ryan L. Taylor. Just a man who's been all over the field tonight, swarming, just so quick. That time Atkins, for a second, looked like he was going to try and throw that ball away, but just nowhere to go. Taylor, you can see on the replay, just got his leg. Atkins stopped in his tracks. A big stop, a loss of 8.
Sets up 2nd and 18. 6 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Atkins wants to keep it again. This time a little bit of daylight, working his way near the 25-yard line before he dekes out of bounds. And he'll be spotted at that 25. It'll bring up 3rd down and 12. A good chunk of yards coming out, 6 yards there on the carry that time from Amir Atkins. Marquise Davis now in the backfield. One receiver at the bottom of your screen. Receivers at the top bunched up. Handoff outside Davis. Finds a little bit of a lane, trying to work outside. He's wrapped up at the knees and taken down at the 30-yard line. He was looking for the 37 for the first down, and that'll call Gabe McKay back out onto the field. Punt unit rolling on for Cleveland Heights.
the Euclid defense just really eliminating that outside of the field. You can see on a lot of these carries, Davis just trying to get to that outside and can't.
Another big tackle coming in there, and dare I say, guess who made their way in there? Looked to be Ryan L. Taylor. 5 minutes, 20 seconds remaining in the third quarter. 2 men deep to return the punt for Euclid. Jamal Jefferson Jr. and Dejan Telfair. Gabe McKay back to boot. Snap is good. High punt this time from McKay, forcing the returners back up and over their heads as it bounces. Now a late decision to return. Able to slip past one tackle, but that's as far as he'll get. He's ripped down inside the 20. He's coming on and making the final tackle. Ethan Golden looked to be able to bring the return man down. 4:51 remaining in the third quarter. Cleveland Heights up 13-6. And what's turned out to be more of a nail-biter than probably everyone expected.
Yeah, without a doubt, this one's still close. Both punters have been fantastic tonight. That time, Gabe McKay, the air distance on that punt was crazy. That one hung up there for a while. Usually you see defenses on special teams, they have those 2 returners back deep, usually just to eliminate punting from one side of the field, or if they try to take away that ability to punt away from the returner. But also, you just think it's so hard to, if you've got 2 guys back deep, it's so hard to kick it over their heads. That time McKay does. Just unbelievable.
You know it's a 13-6 game in the second half when you're calling on the punters for being very good in a game. But to your point, absolutely they have been. Now rolling out right, looking to throw. Isaiah Pilar, another ball that has hit him right in the hands, unable to come up with it. But that time, a breakup, still good enough. In correction, that one not Pilar. Zayon Van Leer with the pass breakup. See Hall roll out, trying to find a man. Van Leer unable to come with it. Pilar also on that side of the field, meeting his counterpart right there, making sure he taps him on the helmet. He says, I know the pain, don't worry, keep your head up. Another opportunity coming. Yeah,
Hall's lucky that one didn't get intercepted. Just a forced pass at that point. Might as well take the loss of yardage going out of bounds rather than force that ball down, because that one very well should have been picked.
Or even at that point, he was far outside the pocket. Could have just thrown that one away.
Yeah.
Instead, 2nd and 10. Just inside their own 20. Hall dropping back again. Now he puts his head down, looks to take off. Met by a trio of Tigers as he's taken to the ground. Albert Green Jr. as well. Jason Owens in on the tackle.
Marquise Hall on the ground so far this half has been limited. We saw in the first half, big part of that offense was him running on the ground, but this defensive line so far for the Tigers hasn't budged on that. Albert Green and Mekhi Webb doing such a good job all year at the linebacker position, and tonight some big tackles there. The defensive front as well been great in the second half.
3rd and 8. Marquise Hall back ready to take the snap, but flags fly. We'll see the call.
Dead ball, substitution, offense. There are 12 players on the field. It's a 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Another 5-yard penalty coming out for the Panthers, and again on an illegal substitution. On 3rd down, those are just ones you can't afford to have. If I'm not mistaken, both penalties coming on 3rd down for illegal substitution for this team.
Those are just killers.
So instead of 3rd and 8, now 3rd and 13. Hall immediately puts his head down, runs left side, has a blocker out in front, out past the 20, up to the 30. Good enough for a 1st down. Hall putting his head down at the run at the end of it, and is able to gain an extra couple of yards. Marked down at the 31. You mentioned how impactful he was in the first half. You see it there again.
There it is, in a great block by 22, Jordan Rawlings. Good job fending off Albert Green Jr., who was the only guy in the area who was close enough to make the tackle and try and get Hall short of the 1st down, but just a great block by Rawlings, allowing Hall to get to that outside and pick up the 1st down.
Great job all around. A big 3rd and 13 conversion. They'll look to run nearly the same play. Hall finding space again up near the 40 before he's ran out of bounds. Looks like he'll be marked down at the 37. Still a good gain coming out for Marquise Hall, finding some success now along that left side. Short side of the field, 2nd and 3 coming up for the Panthers. 3:39 remaining in the third quarter. Hall, Rawlings, the duo in the backfield again for Euclid. Motioning 2 receivers. Left to right, opens up the left side. And that one might have gotten snapped a little bit too early. Flags out on the play, 2 of them in fact, as that one was snapped. Coming on the carry was Jordan Rawlings, but his run probably going to be called back here. I'm not quite sure both those guys on the outside got set.
No, didn't look like it.
Illegal shift. Offense. That'll be a 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Another 5-yard penalty coming out.
Number 22
for Euclid.
For the offense, needs to leave the field for loss of helmet.
And you hear there at the end, Jordan Rawlings lost his helmet on the play as well, so he'll have to check off for a play. But another penalty coming on. It's a great first down play. You get yourself near the first down marker, and then really shooting yourself in the own foot.
Yeah, it takes the good first down play and the short yardage situation on 2nd down, and now you're back to 2nd and 8, just 2 yards away from where you originally were from.
Snap high, taken down by Hall, and he'll pretty much get back what they lost on the penalty. Looks like a gain of about 5. Will set up 3rd and 3. Marquise Hall continuing to carve his way through this defense, just 5-6 yards at a time, pushing his way up for 10+ at times, but if he keeps running like that, it'll be methodical drives the whole way down the field for the Panthers. 3 minutes now on the clock in the third. Hall back to take the snap. Look to go to a hard count, now checks his receivers again. Play back, looking to go up the middle. He's met immediately at the 38. He's going to be stopped short, and Euclid will be facing 4th down inside their own 40.
John Johnson, the junior edge, the first guy in on this tackle. Great job just stuffing Marquise Hall. Beautiful play, and now on 4th and 2. The offense back out on the field and down 1 score. 4th and only 2 to go. This is the call. It could probably really go either way. Go for it or punt, but Panthers are electing to go for it.
They want to run it, same formation. Ball gets snapped, pass Hall on the ground. He picks it up and hits the ground inside the 20 of Euclid. Complete miscommunication. And now starting inside the red zone are the Tigers.
Yeah, that's the nightmare scenario, Jake. Hall was not set, as you can see. Just not ready for that snap to come. And now instead of taking over the turnover on downs at around the 37, you're taking over inside the red zone. So a gigantic mishap by this Panthers offense.
Complete miscommunication between Marquise Hall and his center, David Johnson. And now they're going to need their defense to come up huge.
Yep.
Any stop you can get as the Euclid Panthers is massive here. Weren't able to do it on the last drive, although they did force the fumble. And looking at the quarterback position right there on your screen, Asher Wilson under center as him and Amir Atkins split the duties. Trying to find the outside, Marquise Davis working back in across the 10. Ball loose again. And quickly picked up by John Gordon Jr. He pretty much hit the ground and rolled right over that one. It skipped up into his chest. Once again, the Tigers lucky enough to hold on to the football.
Yeah, definitely. A good carry by Marquise Davis. Looked like it was going to be a gain of about 6 or 7 before the fumble. Looks like it was a gain of around then, but John Gordon Jr. just in perfect position. That ball popped right into his hands. Good job jumping on it.
Keyshawn Telfair was the one to spring it loose. John Gordon Jr. up the middle and into the end zone. Cleveland Heights wasting no time after the turnover on downs. Find themselves back onto the board and are now up 19-6 in the third.
Heights High capitalizing on a huge Panthers mistake. That's exactly what they needed to do. Putting up the game now to 2 scores, more than 2 scores. Massive touchdown by John Gordon Jr. That looked identical to the last drive. The fumble recovery, and then the touchdown on the next play.
Extra point up and through for Gabe McKay. Now looking at a 14-point game as the Cleveland Heights High Tigers lead 20-6 with a minute 41 remaining in the third. A huge miscommunication sets that one up. Marquise Hall and his center, David Johnson, not on the same page, and it just happened to be at the most costly time on 4th down and 2 in their own territory.
Definitely now you see the biggest lead of the game for the Tigers in an offense that's struggled really to get it going all day in terms of scoring a touchdown, an offense that, I mean, hasn't looked horrible. And here you see on the replay just that miscommunication never even gave Marquise Hall a chance at even making a play. Had to just sit on that ball. Just a brutal error by the Panthers, and one of those plays that if the score holds up, that's the play you circle and say that might have been the game right there. Still lots of time to go, but just a big mishap for the Panthers, one the Tigers were able to capitalize on.
13-6 game. You think multiple things there. That punt goes right, you might be looking at a first down. That snap goes right, you might be looking at a first down. Or on the other end of it, you could just punt the ball in that situation and trust in your defense. Really, no blame slotted either way because 2 yards ain't that much to gain, especially the way Marquise Hall was running. Just unfortunate that they weren't on the same page, and it comes back to bite them immediately. Does it for the Panthers as the Tigers find the board. Gabe McKay's kickoff through the end zone, touchback, so it'll be a 20-yard line start. Euclid going to look to clean up their errors and get this game back within 1 score. Marquise Hall been good on the ground, through the air. Has had a couple of nice throws, but also a few that have not looked good either. We'll look to see what the Panthers turn to. You have to imagine trusting on the ground. End around to the outside on the carry. Dejan Telfair, he finds some space along the near sideline, out across the 40, near the 50, cuts back inside. He reverses field, now up to the 30 of Cleveland Heights. Dragged down at the 25 as Dejan Telfair turns nothing into something, and that was the big play the Panthers needed.
Without a doubt, Jake, and we've seen all game this Panthers offense has looked consistent, had put together a few good drives, even though they haven't scored. The one thing they've been missing is the big play, and that time Telfair gets it. We've seen that same end-around play that they ran it a few times tonight. That time, though, Telfair, big yardage.
Telfair athletic enough to keep that play alive and extend it long enough for the play to break down. Now Marquise Hall churning his way through the defense, out past the 15-yard line. He'll make his way to the 13, move the chains again after a gain of 11. On the direct snap, 1 minute and 11 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Knocking at the door, the Euclid Panthers. The duo remains in the backfield. That's Marquise Hall, Jordan Rawlings. 2 receivers, 1 on either side of the field. Out wide. Receiver in motion, left to right. That's Javon Gilmore. Handoff goes inside. Rawlings up past the 10 at the 9-yard line where he's spun down. Good gain on the play. Carry goes for about 4. Now 10 yards to go. Euclid continuing to put together good carries. Now with 20 seconds, third quarter winding down here as the Panthers looking to make this a 1-score ball game.
Panthers ideally trying to get 1 play off before the quarter expires.
5 seconds, Marquise Hall set up under center. Clock to 1, and they'll let it run out. Flags fly, and somebody might have stood up too early.
Looks like I saw one of the offensive linemen.
Yeah, referee's going to meet
Looks like I saw Dylan Beaufort stand up first. Not completely sure.
Clocks look to have hit zeros.
But did look like Marquise Hall was really trying to get that play off and just couldn't.
Referees continue to discuss as we await the call.
Dead ball. Disconcerting signals. Defense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Be half the distance to the goal. Second down.
So instead, penalties flying will be against Cleveland Heights. 5 yards closer go the Panthers. 0 seconds still on the clock in the third quarter. As now the ball will be spotted just inside the 5 in Cleveland Heights high territory. Remember, the only touchdown for Euclid so far today on a deflection on a ball that really should have been picked off by Isaiah Pilar.
Please place 1 second on the clock.
Ball got away.
1 second, please.
Keyshawn Telfair was there. Popped right into his hands as he walked in. Pilar would get his get back at the end of the first half. Panthers were looking for the end zone again. This time he didn't drop it. He came away with a pick.
Now 1 second left. They will get a last play before the quarter ends. Or not. Running.
Yeah, clock ran from 1 second down to 0. Referee signaled to get the clock moving. We have triple zeros on the board.
That is the end of the quarter.
Third quarter does come to an end. Defensive penalty does not stop the clock. Third quarter is over with the Cleveland Heights High Tigers up 20-6. However, the Euclid Panthers inside the 5-yard line looking to make this a one-score game, and they're doing it on the ground.
Yeah, the ground game working to the fullest we've seen tonight. The big run by Telfair obviously set up this drive, and that's really the one big play we've seen out of this offense so far. And now the Tigers a great third quarter, exactly what they wanted out of themselves, attacking on 2 more scores and extending this lead to now a 2-score lead. But the Panthers did exactly what they wanted to, and after giving up that touchdown, immediately responding now, setting themselves up with the best chance to score they've seen all night, and their first, what really is their first trip to the red zone all night. So a perfect response by them, trying to get this game back to a 1-score game. Heights High defense can be tasked with a tough task.
Yeah, basically asking to have them come away with a goal line stand inside the 5. Fields reverse and the fourth quarter gets ready to begin. Your mind starts to wander just a little bit, and you think, if it wasn't for that snap that went past the head of Marquise Hall, and Euclid was able to put a drive together like this, we'd be looking at a completely different ball game right now.
Without a doubt.
Fourth quarter, 12 minutes on the clock. Euclid looking to make this a 7-point game with a touchdown and an extra point. Hall looks to go outside, cuts it back inside into the end zone. Hall putting on the shifters. Use that right stick, young kid, into the end zone. Euclid now within 8.
Whew, just a pretty cut to his left by Marquise Hall. I mean, we've seen that all night out of him. This time it goes in for 6. Just wow, just so shifty. We keep saying it. But that time on full display. The quick cut to the left, you see it here.
I mean, he just shaded Aiden Carlisle to the outside there. Jaquan Stubbs was right there in front of him, and it was one move and gone. Stubbs barely had time to move his head. Panthers going with the same decision they went in the first half, not going for the extra point. 2-point conversion instead. Hall drops the ball, picks it up, but has 7 Cleveland Heights High defenders in front of him. So now the game remains at 8, 20-12. Cleveland Heights lead after in the first play in the fourth quarter, Marquise Hall stomps his way into the Tigers' end zone.
Yep, and a similar looking 2-point conversion try to the first one they attempted. That time, both times we saw Hall drop back, and the few times we've seen him drop back tonight, it's been a recipe for disaster. That defensive line for the Tigers just swarming him in an instant. So a big stop there. The Panthers, though, do cut it down to a 1-score game, and now, if you're the Tigers, the thought is let's get the ball back and let's score as quickly as possible, push this game back to 2 scores. So this is going to be a big Big drive for the offense. Don't want to give the ball back to the Panthers with a chance to tie it up.
And, of course, noting 20 points on the board for the Tigers. We said it earlier on, the season high in point total for Euclid this year, just at 14. They sit at 12 on the board right now.
Certainly a mark that I know those Panthers want to get past.
That's one they're looking to put in their rearview mirror. Have a good opportunity to do it. Nearly the whole fourth quarter to go as the team prepares to get it back off to the Tigers. Panthers going to be asking for a defensive stop coming out for their team. Anything to get Marquise Hall in the offense back onto the field. Kick from Demetrius Lumpkin is away. Right side, John Gordon Jr. looking to return. He wants to go middle. He's hit at the 40 and taken down right then and there. It's Anthony Riddle there to make the stop. But it'll still be a good return coming out from John Gordon, as it'll be a 60-yard field for the Tigers to go to the end zone. They'll be looking for continued success. They look to continue to go and find the end zone. Running out with the offense the first time here, going to be Amir Atkins at quarterback. Again, we've seen a mix between him and Asher Wilson.
Yeah, we've seen both switch off drives tonight. I think the big difference, just Amir Atkins gives you that extra explosiveness as a runner.
See that diamond formation sort of come out. Run goes up the middle, breaking loose and out to the other 45. That's Keontae Turner on the carry. That'll move the chains and give the Tigers a first down.
Keontae Turner, a guy we've called his name for the first time tonight with a run. This guy you sometimes see they put in that backfield as an extra blocker. That time does get the carry.
Clearly it caught Euclid off guard.
Yeah.
Turner able to push his way through for the big gain. Motion again. Same play this time. Atkins keeps it himself out past the 40, makes his way well into the secondary before he's dropped at the 30-yard line. That's a gain of 15 for the QB wide receiver.
Yep, looked like literally the exact same play, except that time on the option, Amir Atkins decided to take it. And a good call by him, getting to that outside. Now back-to-back good rushes for the Tigers.
And you see that formation coming out for Cleveland Heights, allowed John Gordon Jr. to be on the outside and set that ceiling block. Similar formation coming out. Atkins under center. Same play again. This time looks to be Turner middle of the field. He pushes his way out past the 30 to the 29. Short gain this time. And finally, that play has been stopped after just a gain of 2. Head coach Max Stevens probably looks down and goes, okay.
Yeah.
We can run something else, sure.
So just one of those ones where say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But that time, play finally. Run it 3 times in a row. Panthers were ready for it. Keontae Turner bottled up immediately.
Motion again. Atkins on the keeper. Looks to turn it upfield. Little gain on the play. He's taken down at the 28. 10:25 remaining in the game. Sets up 3rd down and 5 as the spot comes in at the 26-yard line. 5 yards to go. Play to be drawn up as under center again. This time Asher Wilson takes a snap, end around, giving it away to Gordon Jr. He's tripped up as he looked to find the sideline, but not before he crosses the 15, gets out to the 13-yard line, and is tackled. That time in on the stop, Keyshawn Telfair, but not before Gordon Jr. is able to get a first down.
Beautiful play call. You see the entire defense kind of got caught going one way.
Official timeout.
Gordon Jr. able to take it to the
for injured
outside.
player.
And another good carry for the Tigers in a game where, well, we know coming into this game, the big rushing attack is what everyone talks about on this team, and it's been kind of stagnant. And big credit is due to the Panthers' defense. Have been able to get to the running back fast and make those quick tackles, not allowing anyone to get to the outside. But there's been a few runs now on this drive where this running attack that's looked looked back to normal and how high-powered it's been all season. That time, once again, John Gordon Jr. able to do it on the ground.
You never know who it's going to come from when you talk Cleveland Heights. Obviously, no Omar Lakes tonight, but John Gordon Jr., he was tied coming into the game for rushing yards. He's the second highest man. Marquise Davis, kind of the guy who's been bottled up for most of the night, so you turn to everybody else. Amir Atkins playing filling QB, him and Asher Wilson sort of splitting duties, and Atkins has been doing it with his legs.
Yeah, you think, like, just with how much this team runs the ball, you think it'd be easy to know how to stop an offense if you know that they're going to run the ball every time. But so many different, you think about at least 5 or 6 rushers, different guys that can run the ball in this offense, and so many different formations. It's just so impossible to stop because it's not just a simple running attack. It's a very complex running attack they have, and it's so effective that way.
Similar play call up towards the 10-yard line on first down. That'll be a gain of 3 on the play. John Gordon Jr. took it up the middle. Wilson still in at quarterback right now. He gets the play call as he steps up towards the 10-yard line. You talk about it, so many athletes, especially when you're running options, it's as simple as there's 2 guys right there, not to mention you're probably motioning one in a crossing formation. It's so hard to keep track. Pitch back, John Gordon Jr. picking it up as he's out across the 5, ball down again, and Euclid has come away with it. A red zone fumble for the Tigers, and they cough it up to the Panthers just as they were looking to make it 2 scores and nearly put this game away. Now completely flipped on its head. Euclid has a chance to take over. They'll need to go the length of the field, but they're not going to be mad about that one.
Just wow, a major takeaway. Tigers knocking on the door. Looked like they were going to get some points for sure on that drive. John Gordon Jr. on the carry. Ball was knocked loose, and now the Panthers do have to drive 95 yards, but hey, you get the ball back with a chance with an offense that was hot on the last drive. Big time from that Panthers defense that's been good all night.
9 minutes, 10 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Marquise Hall, direct snap, looks for the middle, pushes the pile forward, and he's taken down at the 10-yard line, a gain of 5 on the play. Looking back at Euclid's schedule, it's really been a little bit since they've played a close game. The closest one they played against Brunswick 2 weeks ago, and a 14-0 loss. But other than that, you look, River Rouge from Michigan last week, that was a 6-36 loss. 42-0 against Medina 3 weeks ago. 23-6 against Strongville. 40-13 against Shaker. It's been some dominant games, so you can tell this team playing with a different energy as they feel themselves still in this ball game against a 7-1 team.
Without a doubt.
That's the first of the half.
Just something about that, too, is when you're playing in close games, it's just that much more. Just the stakes feel higher, and we've seen it tonight, too. You can just noticeably tell that the swag on that sideline for Euclid is just a different feeling, and it looks like they're playing with a fire that, I mean, haven't really seen a lot this year out of them, especially against one of the best teams in the state of Ohio and Cleveland Heights coming on the road. Just very impressed with them tonight, and despite the record, they look really tremendous, especially on the defensive side of the ball, and just a few tiny mistakes and away from probably being in the lead in this one.
Yeah, on the defensive side of the ball, a few guys that have had their name called pretty much all night long. You look to Rynell Taylor as well, Keyshawn Telfair, guys making huge impacts on the defensive end. And then on those guys really sealing off the outsides, Taylor and Telfair, both defensive backs who have been great in stopping the run. And then just a props to everybody on the inside. When the ball has to go there, the rest of the Euclid defense there and making sure tackles. 2nd and 5. Teams roll back out onto the field. The ever so crafty, dynamic duo in the backfield. Snap, end around. This one will be Telfair on the outside, but he's wrapped up off the edge. That's the 3-star defensive end, Brandon Caesar, in on the tackle, setting up a 5-yard loss and forcing out a 3rd and 10 for the Panthers.
Yeah, there's no getting around Brandon Caesar. The best edge rushers on this defense.
it's so powerful. Look at him with just one arm, just able the way he moves. Ball carriers, as soon as they try to turn that edge, he has one arm locked in on a shoulder pad, and their whole body flips around as soon as he pulls. Sets up 3rd and 10, 5-yard line. Euclid desperately needing some yardage. Caesar setting the edge, but it's going to be none other than the man himself, Hall, breaking loose out past the 35. A big run on the keeper up the middle as he finds a seam and exploits it up to the 40.
Some of the most explosive runs we've seen tonight have just been on these keepers straight up the middle. Just great blocking, finds that seam literally right in the middle of that line.
I mean, that was a roadway with trees on the outside. Yeah. Make that a 1 lane because he was pretty much getting brushed up on by his own offensive lineman, but they created a gap, and he took advantage. Hall back to pass. Wants it deep down the field, middle. Nothing there. Flag comes out as the ball sails over the head of the intended receiver. The intended receiver on the play, Jamal Jefferson Jr., and in coverage appears to be
like it was
Ethan Golden.
Yeah.
Interference. Defense, number 9. That'll be 15 yards from the previous spot. First down.
It is pass interference on Golden, 15 yards from the 40. It'll cross midfield for Euclid and put them on the 45. 7:12 remaining here in the 4th quarter as the Panthers continue to fight. That penalty, however, maybe a little ticky-tacky
I think
down the middle.
That ball definitely not anywhere close, and one that didn't look like there was an egregious amount of contact. Definitely a tough call.
Hall, direct snap, outside, puts his head down, and fights for an extra couple of yards before he's taken down at the 42. All continuing to put together strong runs. That time, a gain of 3 on the play, sets up 2nd and 7.
It's good to hear the replay. That pass interference.
That ball was at least 5 yards out front. And for Golden, hands were nowhere, as you said, really in an egregious position. Yeah. There wasn't a whole lot of contact, no arm extension. Just 2 guys who kind of got tangled up. And you hate to see the call there. Nevertheless, it was first down. Now looking to go to the outside, met immediately in the backfield. Nowhere to go on the carry. Chris Jones on the attempt, and it's Simon Williams shutting him down immediately.
Simon Williams made a few good plays tonight. That one big time, stopping that runner in his tracks. A good job of Makai Webb, too, coming in and finishing off that tackle.
They'll give him forward progress, stopped at the 48. You can see it right here. Simon Williams just sort of disguising behind the blocker and then popping out at the perfect moment to shut down the run. 3rd down set now, 3rd and 12. 5:39 remaining. Another miscommunication on the snap, although whistles blow. And we'll see what happened there. Looks like a flag.
Dead
Only
ball.
one being picked up.
Delay game. Offense. Number 4. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Yeah, as I was going to say, the back judge all the way behind John Gordon Jr., the deep safety, was the only man picking up his flag, so that had to have been a delay of game. And it'll make it even tougher for Euclid now. 3rd and 17.
Yeah, interesting. Looked like kind of just a desperation snap trying to get that one off. No one really ready for it.
Center realized clock was ticking, tried to get it away. Hall going to be forced to pass, has a man sideline, Jamal Jefferson Jr., unable to bring it in as he had to twist his body, went for the one-handed grab, and it popped off his hand, sets up 4th and long. Another flag, though.
Yeah, actually, I didn't think that was a bad ball thrown by Hall, just in a perfect position, able to turn the receiver around and get him in a position where he was open.
Looked like the call was coming. We now await. But I agree with you. It looked like a pretty good ball. Just would have had to throw two hands at it, and looked like Jefferson would have had a good shot.
Ineligible player, downfield, offense, number 7. That penalty will be declined, 4th down.
Another case of ineligible receiver downfield. Right here, we'll see the ball from Hall. That's out a bit of a rocket. A little high for Jefferson Jr.,
Euclid.
but all in all, looked like a ball he could have brought in, and that would have
pass.
been a big change. Of course, would have probably been negated by the flag at the end of the day, but they had the opportunity. 5 minutes, 14 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. Euclid trailing Cleveland Heights by 8. And now it'll set up 4th down. Time winding this low. If you're Euclid, I know it's 4th and 17, but you're going to have to trust in your defense when, all things considered, the Tigers' offense has been able to move the ball. Euclid, last time they were out on defense, were able to force a turnover on a fumble that came at the 5-yard line.
Yeah, the Euclid defense, keep saying it, but have been so great tonight. We'll see they're going to have a chance here. But definitely a defense that they have trust in. And either way, going to have to make a few stops if they're going to want to win this ball game.
You'll see them bring the punt unit onto the field. Again, 5:14 remaining in the game. So Euclid going to have to put a good amount of faith into their defense here. Timeouts do remain, so they can stop the clock in the event the Tigers going for first downs. But first, Dreonte Fazel on to boot. Spiraling punt, that one quickly making its way out of bounds. Not the cleanest connection from Fazel, who, you take that punt out of it, has had a very good day. Ball looks like it's officially going to be spotted at the 25-yard line. And I'll be honest, that might be a little generous.
Yeah. Yeah, not the worst punt ever, but for Fazel, who's had such a great day, probably one that he wants another shot at. One that there were no real gunners lined up on either side for the Panthers, so obviously a situation where they were just trying to get that ball deep and have it downed. Fortunately, though, off the side of his foot.
I'll tell you what, the 25, not that bad. I thought that one was going to get spotted closer to the 35. But they'll give him the 25. All things still well here. Handoff going up the middle, short gain. 1, maybe 2 yards on the carry.
Clock stays running, and that's going to be something the Tigers are going to try and do here as clock runs out. Time's running down, just trying to pick up some yardage. Obviously, first downs are going to be very important to keep that clock running, but nonetheless, on any of these run plays, that clock is going to run.
No reason to move too fast here if you're Cleveland Heights. Even worst case scenario, Euclid comes down and scores, they'd have to convert a 2-point conversion just to tie the game. Another run, this time Atkins on the keeper, out past the 35 before he's tripped up. Rynell Taylor in there to make the stop. Atkins calling for hurry-up offense. Officially marked down. 38-yard line, 4 minutes, 15 seconds remaining. And you'll see the coaching staff of Cleveland Heights really start to slow him down.
Yeah.
Calling for him to pick up the pace, pick up the pace, pick up the pace. Oh, the sideline says, no, don't do that. Make sure you keep this nice and methodical. 4 minutes in motion. Atkins, keeper again, hitting the backfield this time. Pitch, though, able to turn this into a positive play. 4-yard gain as the pitch went back to Marcellus Harris, and he was able to take it into positive territory. That was a play that looked like it was shot down, and Harris didn't even necessarily expect the ball. I'm sure he was prepared for it, but didn't seem to be that way.
No, one of these plays you can see here, Atkins was going down, and at the last second decided to pitch it. One of those plays, one of those unconventional plays where usually coaches don't want players forcing the ball because that's when turnovers happen, but Atkins with the perfect pitch ends up working out for the Tigers, picking up yardage on the play.
Another pitch, this time outside John Gordon Jr. He's throwing on the wheels out past the 30, 20, cuts back inside. One more man to beat. He finds the end zone. John Gordon Jr. takes it all the way by himself over 60 yards for the score. And that'll almost surely seal the game for Cleveland Heights. You see it right there, John Gordon Jr. using his blockers out in front, and then just had one man to beat and stayed on his feet long enough to find the end zone. 26-12 now your score with just over 3 minutes. And as it stands right now, they're going to look to make this 8 points on the board and make it a 16-point game. It would take an offensive nearly miracle, but either way, head coach Max Stevens wants to put this one away. Fumble snap, Wilson looks back at the end zone, has a man. Jeffrey Ward, 2-point conversion, good. He beat his defender off the edge. 28-12, Cleveland Heights ahead of Euclid.
Took a fumble snap, but just a great job by Asher Wilson, and that's 6'4" Jeffrey Ward. He's 6'4" for a reason, just throws that ball high and up to him. No stopping the sophomore Ward on that 2-point conversion, and now this game looks to be out of reach, barring a miracle.
Again, when things start to go awry, you fumble a snap. I, as a quarterback, too, would think, oh no, breakdown, where's my 6'4" receiver? Yeah. Give me a chance at this. That play did look to be designed to Ward, but either way, I'd be looking his direction. 28-12, 3 minutes, 2 seconds. Brendan, you mentioned it. Game feels almost out of reach, but don't count the Panthers out. Special teams play coming up. They've had positives and negatives on this side of the ball. Able to let one ball roll out. Good field position. Similar kick. They let one stay in, and it was recovered by the Tigers. They'll return this one from their own 15. That's Telfair trying to cut it back now towards the middle. Nowhere to go as he's taken down at the 22-yard line. And with 2:54 remaining in the game, the Panthers are going to have to make this a quick drive. And then it'll have to be a defensive stop or special teams play to get them the ball back. And another touchdown will need to come up. And following the converted 2 points, it's now going to have to be 2-point conversions on both scores for Euclid in order to tie the game.
Yep. Here's a drive where Euclid, you're going to need to count on a big play or two to get you down in the end zone quick, because with the way this offense has been working, it's been very slow and methodical and been taking a lot of time off the clock, and you can't afford that now, down 2 scores with under 3 minutes to go. So if Euclid wants to come back in this game, they're going to need 1 or 2 big plays to get them into the end zone if they want a shot.
If I had to take a guess who that big play is going to come from, Marquise Hall put the ball in his hands. Initially looked to pass. Now he finds the outside, running out past the 30, 40. Big gain for Hall as he's run out of bounds at the 41-yard line. Just like that, Hall doing his best work with his feet, and a massive gain coming out for the QB.
That's exactly it. Those long plays, and that time even better for Marquise Hall. You see him able to get to that sideline and then able to get out of bounds there. A big gain, and it stops the clock.
19-yard carry for Hall. Finding the sideline allows the clock to stop, Brennan, at 2:44. Again, 28-12 lead for Cleveland Heights. Hall looking to pass, wants it short. That one out in front of Jamal Jefferson Jr. He was open in the middle of the field. That time, Hall looking like he just put a little bit too much on it.
Yeah, rare design pass play tonight for the Panthers. That time, Jamal Jefferson wide open over the middle, just a little too much juice on it for him to handle. But the good thing, though, for the Panthers is the clock stops, but a good stop for the Tigers, getting the loss down.
A lot of the times when you see high school quarterbacks, when they look to go long, it's too much air on their ball. Mm-hmm. They let a little bit too much go under it. For Hall tonight, anytime he's throwing the ball, it seemed to be with all of his force. He pulls the ball down now and looks to make his way up. Ball comes loose, and it's picked up by the Tigers. Looks to be Makai Webb who comes away with it, and it is recovered by Cleveland Heights. On the fumble, that one, an odd play as Hall was just wrapped up. We'll see if we can tell how it comes loose here. Looks like he's just sandwiched off that outside as the hit came in. A blindside knock from John Johnson. Jars the ball loose, and Makai Webb comes away, and with 2:27 remaining and up 16, Cleveland Heights is taken back over. Another turnover.
There's that Heights high defensive line. It's been so good tonight, making that final stop, and that's going to be the icing on the cake here tonight. But a great performance by this defensive line tonight. When Marquise Hall hasn't been effective, it's when that line's just gotten in on him quick, and it's happened a lot tonight. The final play that seals it is one of those plays for this Heights high defensive line.
And now an offense, Amir Atkins looking to get things done with his feet. 10 yards on the carry, and it stopped inbounds, so clock will continue to run after the ball is reset, and that should be a first down to move the sticks for Cleveland Heights. And the official spot right at the first down marker, but they're not going to move the chains. He comes up about a quarter of a yard short, maybe a foot. And the clock now at 2 minutes. Atkins, rare alone in the backfield. Play action with John Gordon Jr., Henry Perriman off the outside. Atkins keeps it himself. Far enough for a first down, but then flags out.
Looks like a hold on the offense, what they were calling.
Appeared what it was. Looks like there's a Panther down on the field. Everyone was gathered around, and now both teams will return to their sidelines as he's treated accordingly. Minute 49 remaining, 28-12. Cleveland Heights on top. A couple more first downs in this game can be secured away. Really, after this, you're probably looking at one first down.
Yep. Yeah, it'll take one first down.
Given the timeouts Euclid elects to call them, you might be looking
Holding.
at two.
Yep.
Offense.
We'll see. That'll be up
number
to
53.
Get the call here.
That'll be a 10-yard penalty. Still second down.
No first down for Cleveland Heights. Hold's going to come in on Rodney Harris and back up the team on second down.
Yeah, and we will see here if Euclid opts to call, opts to use those timeouts. If not going to take a first down at all in this game, but one first down should be enough to do it.
The downed Panther was able to return to his feet, make his way off the field. Now looking to return to play, 2nd and 10 for the Tigers. Clock continues to wind, a minute 45. Look for the pitch on the end around. That ball is loose, and it's fallen on by Euclid. Cleveland Heights trying to get creative with play design, and you see that ball pop loose. The forward pitch from Atkins to Perryman, unable to be handled. And it would take a miracle, and I mean a miracle, as you look at this play. The pitch from Atkins just a little quick. It almost looked as if Perriman wasn't expecting it. But it would take an absolute miracle, and I mean a miracle of all miracles for Euclid. But if you're Cleveland Heights, you handed them an opportunity.
Yeah, without a doubt. It did look like some sort of miscommunication. Perryman just didn't look ready for a pitch. Maybe more expecting a handoff, or if he was just going to do a fake and it was just going to be an option up the middle for Atkins. But you talk about miracles. Hey, at least they got a miracle situation here where they can try something.
You kept the little sliver of hope alive for Euclid. Hall, play action, rolling right, flags fly out. He goes down the field, and it's picked off. Looks like John Gordon Jr. on the interception. He'll be hit from behind. Ball loose again, and they'll say he was down before it popped loose. A big hit from the... John Gordon Jr. was not ready for that at all, as the receiver came rushing in from behind and put a big hit on to look to jar the ball loose. Flags on the play, we'll get the call.
Holding. Offense. That penalty be declined. First down.
Holding on Euclid. Interception will stand. John Gordon Jr. rolling back out onto the field. Scary moment anytime a player gets hit unsuspectedly, especially with that much force. It's a clean play. John Gordon Jr. has the ball, just wasn't expecting somebody to be behind, as you'll see number 0's pick right here. Underthrown ball, perfectly undercuts it, and then decides to reverse field. He was just unsuspecting of Jamal Jefferson Jr. to be on that side of the field uncovered.
Yep. John Gordon Jr. ices the game with the pick, and now.
Minute 24, Euclid has timeouts. Amir Atkins looked like he was going down, but does not. He fights up past the 40. Official mark will be right before it, and it'll set up second and short. And as it stands right now, and I take that back, Euclid going to elect to use their timeout.
Euclid.
Yeah, down 2 scores.
That is their second of the half.
Minute
This
06.
one does look over. I mean, it's a tough one.
You're in your complete right
Yeah.
as a head coach to use your timeout. 2nd and 2. If you want to see if your team can go make something happen, by all means.
Yeah.
I see no issue with it personally. I see the
No.
other side of it.
Yep.
You don't like a head
That's-
coach calling his timeouts down the stretch. But really, I mean, if you're not trying to win football games out here, then
Yeah.
you can say a minute 06, whatever you want. You just saw on the last drive, Cleveland Heights was still happy to run a forward pitch play to Atkins to Perriman. That could easily turn into 6 just like that.
Yep.
And then you are a special teams, an onside kick, and a big throw away from turning that game on its head.
Yeah, and I feel like 1 or 2 scores definitely. I could see why you call the timeouts there. I think anything more than that definitely shouldn't be calling the timeout. So could definitely see it. But now Heights just gonna have to take care of the ball, and 1 first down will be enough to end it.
And once you get the first down, if we're calling timeouts, then I can see a real gripe. Play going to go around to the outside. Marcellus Harris on the carry, out past the 1st to the 30. He stays in bounds and is down at the 28-yard line. A good run from the running back. That'll almost certainly ice this game away and let time run out. Harris, the 5'9 junior. Clock rolling, and just as we said, timeouts, game was still available, past the first down now, clock will wind 40 seconds, and this will likely be the ball game. Probably get one more play here out of Cleveland Heights. Just be a run up the middle. Amir Atkins happy to take it and then go to the ground. Go to the ground, maybe not so happy. He stays on his feet. And some extracurricular after the play.
Yeah, really not the time there you want to see anything. This game's over. I mean, the last point of this game, you want to see anything started. Looked like Atkins probably wasn't happy with the contact, but no reason why anyone should be shoving. This game's over. At this point, just going to take a kneel down now. You would hate to see
Dead ball.
anything potential blow up here.
Personal foul.
Ref's got to call the flags on that
Unnecessary
one.
roughness.
Yeah, that's just
Defense. 15-yard penalty. First down.
that's just a case of being able to nip that right in the bud, make sure that
Yeah.
nothing comes of it, and you don't see anything extra coming down. Just no, we're not going to let that fly. But really, there should be no reason that. It was a hard-fought, competitive game from both of these teams. Cleveland Heights going to walk away here more than likely with a 28-12 victory. Still 25 seconds remaining on the clock. But this should be a kneel coming out from the Tigers. They are assumed in victory formation. Asher Wilson takes the snap, goes down, and that will be the ball game. You see embraces from either side coming out, and you love to see it because Euclid came into Cleveland Heights, Ohio today, walked onto Crawford Field, and gave this Tigers team a battle. 28-12, Heights walks away with a win. They'll improve to 8-1. The Euclid Panthers will drop to 1-8. Both of these teams have one game remaining on their schedule. On the road next week will be the Tigers. They'll be taking on the Shaker Heights Red Raiders. They walked into today 7-1 with a matchup against Medina. And for Euclid, they'll close it out on the road against the Mentor Cardinals.
Yeah, overall, great game today, Jake. Both sides of the ball. First with Euclid Panthers. Very impressed with everything they did today, and I wouldn't come away from this game saying it was a game where the Tigers came out flat or they didn't look like normal or anything like that. I would just say that Euclid came in prepared and came into a team that looked hungry, came out to compete. So big time props to them, big time props to that defense, everyone on that offense. Just really great to see them out here competing what's been a rough season in terms of wins and losses. So just really good to see their fight with the Tigers. Hey, you get a win in the GCC, keep with the undefeated record in the conference, move to 8-1, and now with one game left, trying to lock up that conference, being the winners of the conference. So just a game that come away with wins a win and on to next week. So on either side of the ball, a great game, both sides, a great highly contested football matchup, lots of positives on either end, but for the Tigers coming out undefeated in the GCC and now at 8-1 and now on next week to wrap the season up before they head into the playoffs.
And this could very well not be the last time we see these two teams meet this season. Cleveland Heights, Euclid, a likely pairing for the OHSAA playoffs that would begin the week after next. That game would be on Friday, October 27th. Likely, if that was the matchup, it'd be right here at Crawford Field in Cleveland Heights, Ohio. But, of course, still plenty of going on around the final 2 weeks of high school football before that's decided. Final score of final time, 28-12. Tigers take down the Euclid Panthers. For CHUA Schools YouTube channel, I'm Jake Volnick. Brendan Kantz, we wish you a great rest of your Friday night. College football coming up tomorrow and 1 week left of Cleveland Heights High football. Again, Shaker Heights on the road next week. Have a good night.